Every Monday at 10:30 with Fox Sports analyst Joel Klatt, presented by MyBookie.ag, promo code NEXTROUND. If it is meaningful at all in college football, we cover it Mondays with Joel Klatt, presented by MyBookie.ag on the Next Round.
Happy football season. At the Next Round, we strive to make our loyal listeners feel like they're a part of the action all season long. My name is Emily Grace McWhorter, and I do that by bringing you along for any given Saturday in Auburn or Tuscaloosa. From pregame warm-ups, touchdowns that make you feel a part of the play, and everything in between, our goal is to make you feel like you're inside Bryant Denny or Jordan Hare. Follow along on our social media at Next Round Live on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Also, check out thebarnauburn.com and covercrimson.com while you're at it. Here's to fall Saturdays.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
From the creators of The Next Round comes two new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. Two team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. Covercrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Join me and CBS sports analyst Brandon Marcello for the Middle Eight each Monday at 8 a.m. as we look back at the weekend of college football from the SEC to the top 25 of the college football playoff. It's the Middle Eight, presented by MyBookie.ag, code Next Round.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
From the creators of The Next Round comes two new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. Two team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. Covercrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1? Find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2? Stream it now. Miss Hour 3? Download it for later. Miss Hour 4? Well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Take the Next Round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round. presented by Bud Light, is on now.
College football ranking show tonight, 7 o'clock Central Time. We'll give you our 12, the way we think a 12-team playoff should look. Not necessarily with automatic bids. Coming up later in the show, something Lance wanted to do yesterday. We took that home and did a little work on it. We'll talk about some smack talk in Auburn Tigers leading into the Iron Bowl. Trying to breathe at least a little life into this rivalry game. I tweeted yesterday, the Iron Bowl feels a little Egg Bowl-ish. We'll talk about that coming up. But we'll start with the last thing we saw last night, which was late night basketball. North Carolina with a massive comeback to set up a matchup tonight with Auburn, who had the second biggest comeback in Bruce Pearl's time as coach at Auburn, an 18-point comeback to beat top 10, top 5, depending on what ranking you look at, Iowa State.
Yeah, look, that's a good Cyclone team, and the Keyshawn Gilbert guy can definitely play a lot of balance. And, once they got down, it was 16 at half. I know Auburn can be explosive. It just didn't seem like there was a reality that they were going to be able to come back and win that game.
When that old boy hit that fadeaway right at the half, I'm like, yeah, that's not your night. I mean, that shot is the most
yeah, and they were cooking at that point.
Didn't move the net, and they bumped it back up to 16 after you had cut it to 10, I believe. Right there at the half, I thought the game was over. And I was so impressed by Iowa State's defense in the first half. I was like, that's some of the best defense I have ever seen.
And that's one of the reasons I didn't think Auburn was going to be able to come back. And, a couple of things. They absolutely dominated the glass in the second half, and Chad Baker was lights out.
He was, and hurt going into the half. And that was another reason I thought Auburn was in trouble, was that I didn't know if he was going to be available in the second half. And boy, was he ever.
He said afterwards his mom raised a warrior, and he kept battling it. And he brings that disruption both offensively and defensively. That's just he's not a straight line. When you draw up a play, Chad Baker-Mazara doesn't run straight lines. He is all over the place. He brings an energy to them. Janai Broome, as Bruce Pearl always says, is the best guy on the floor. Cut number one, if we can, Tyler here. Bruce Pearl, on what you schedule big, you have the potential to win big. And now with the wins over Houston and Iowa State, Auburn in the first 5 games has won big. Here's Bruce out in Maui.
Well, one of the things that we talk about with Auburn basketball is to try to make history. And we're very proud of the history of Auburn basketball and some of the great players like Charles Barkley or Chuck Person, or great coaches like Sonny Smith and Cliff Ellis. And this is our second top 5 win in the non-conference in the history of Auburn basketball. Not since 1990, when Kansas did it, has a team started 5-0, including 2 top 5 wins. So to this point, we've made history.
Yeah, I like how Bruce had the stats ready to go in the postgame. Like he knew what was not on the line in that game. This is a preseason conference tournament, or not preseason, pre-conference tournament game. So this is just, these are great games, but I'm not saying like that was an end-all be-all for Auburn. But Bruce knew going into the game what a win would have meant.
Well, look, and you just don't see these kind of comebacks against quality teams. The last time you had a top 5 matchup where the team came back from 16+ down was 2011.
Yeah, and see, here's the deal with this Auburn team, and this is why I liked them last year going into the NCAA tournament when they play like this, like they did in Nashville last year. They're so deep, and they come at you so many ways. They shoot the ball well from the outside. I mean, the way Miles Kelly is playing, the way Denver Jones is playing, the way Pettiford is playing, and then you get inside when you got 2 guys. Cardwell's becoming so good at distributing the basketball when he's on the floor. And then Janai Broome, like you said, on the boards there in the second half, he takes over the glass. He ends up last night 21-10, the tip-in that wins it 83-81 while his leg is cramping. When you're that deep, it makes what you did to Yale in the NCAA tournament an outlier, or something you cannot explain. You can't explain what happened in that first round of the NCAA tournament last year.
March Madness.
Yeah, that's the only way you can explain it.
Yeah, I mean, I heard somebody talking about, maybe it was this morning, Georgia Tech, and, everything says Georgia should win this game, but who knows? I mean, the regular season of college football has gotten like March Madness.
Yeah, so it's all over the place. Here's last time Auburn played in the Maui Classic, 2018. They beat, I think, Xavier, another really good team, and lost to number 1 Duke 77-72, so they were 2-1.
Here's why this Auburn team could become the first SEC team since 1993 Kentucky, and only the third SEC team to win the Maui Classic, is because they're so deep. And you're about to play 3 games in 3 days, potentially against all Elite Eight, Final Four type teams. And Auburn, I think, can run more people out there, more than even North Carolina can, who will have to turn around and play again tonight, 24 hours later against Auburn after having to come back to beat Dayton last night.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen a point spread on that yet, Lance?
Last one I saw was 4.5 Auburn.
Auburn 4.5?
Which,
does that sound about right?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
I'd hammer it.
North Carolina, you'd hammer Auburn minus 4.5.
Yeah.
I mean, North Carolina's only loss is Kansas, and that was at State Farm. That was not in Lawrence, right?
Yeah.
It was at State Farm, so it was neutral site loss to Kansas.
And don't get me wrong, starting fives match up really well.
Yeah.
It's when you go 6, 7, 8, 9 with North Carolina versus 6, 7, 8, 9 versus Auburn. That's where Auburn gets
both
the edge.
exerted a lot of energy last night.
They did. Now, I would say if you did real-time rankings, like if the rankings adjusted real-time, Auburn would be your number 1 team in the nation right now.
I think they should be. I looked at the KenPom today, Brown, and the KenPom's a computer ranking, and at one point Auburn was number 1. I looked yesterday before they played this game; they had dropped to number 2. Houston was back number 1. Only good team Houston's played to Auburn. Auburn beat them, so that didn't make sense to me. So then I looked for it. I looked at it because usually I go KenPom, not AP, as we move on throughout the season. And I looked this morning, and Iowa State had moved up to number 8, and I expected to see Auburn on the first line. It was not. It was still Houston. And then the second line was Gonzaga. And I was like, wait, Auburn just beat their second top 5 team and they dropped in the KenPom? I don't understand it, but I know the KenPom is built with computer data that lasts over a long period of time. I would imagine the more data points I put in there.
I think your lesson there is maybe don't look at the KenPom until we get into January.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, let that data sort out just a little bit before you start going by the KenPom. Maybe use the polls early and then ignore those once you get to January.
So I was like, okay, it doesn't make sense to me, but a lot of things in the world doesn't. But it was a great basketball game, first off. And then, if you've never been to the Maui Classic, then they asked all the Auburn and Iowa State people to leave because they empty out the arena after every game.
I've heard from people that have been there, it's legitimately a high school gym.
Yeah,
it is tiny.
2,600 is all it holds, 2,600.
Yeah, but I am constantly amazed at the number of fans from those fan bases that pay to go to that.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you see how many Iowa State fans were there?
Oh, yeah.
They were in the end zone.
But you think about getting to leave Ames to go to Hawaii for an extended vacation week. So they do have a good turnout.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're a big basketball school like Auburn is now, you have fans that pack up and go.
Oh, no, I do know that.
Yeah. So, you're out in Hawaii. Our buddy Kirk played at Kapalua yesterday.
Yeah.
Beautiful pictures of him and his son hitting the golf ball before they went to the basketball game. So it's a wonderful place to go to. I would love to do it someday. But they asked all the fans to clear out after the Auburn-Iowa State game, and then it's refilled with North Carolina and Dayton fans.
Yeah.
And they do that after every game, and they'll do it again tonight. You can watch the Auburn game this evening. They'll go at 10 p.m. ESPN, Auburn and North Carolina. Auburn a 4.5-point favorite. They'll follow Kansas and Duke, who play in a separate game in Las Vegas, not part of the Alabama tournament, at 8 o'clock on ESPN. Massive showdown. Cooper Flagg against the number 1 team in the AP poll, Kansas and Duke tonight. And then you have Alabama playing Houston. Team Auburn has already beat, number 1 in the KenPom, so it's number 10, number 1 in the KenPom tonight, 7 o'clock on TBS. Bama's in Vegas. They'll play a really good team tonight in Houston. Then they'll play another good team tomorrow in either Rutgers or Notre Dame, and then yet to be determined opponent on Saturday. In the meantime, they'll be doing a lot of public appearances, autograph signings to earn $1 million of NIL money for the players.
They gonna put them to work out there?
Well, they have to do some things for the $1 million. Some of it is community service. Some of it is signing autographs and things like that. So
I still just don't know how you itemize that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that does seem tricky, right? To say, okay, have we crossed the line where they've done enough, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
The way it works is the organizers, which includes Lilly.
I think we're calling this window dressing, Lance.
Yeah, probably so.
I think Wendy's maybe and MGM.
Those are the presenting sponsors?
Maybe it's McDonald's. I don't know which ones, but it's a fast food chain. And they give the money to the collective, and the collective decides how to distribute it. There's $1 million up front for coming to play, and then there's another $1 million you can earn as players for doing the autograph sessions and such like that. Nate Oates cut 3, if you will, Tyler, talking about how his team feels, if you watch Alabama against Purdue, Not fantastic basketball for them in the second half. If you watch them against Illinois, it got a little bit better. Here's Nate Oates on what he needs against a really great defensive Houston team that Auburn beat earlier this year.
I think that if you attack Houston correctly, the ball moves. Like, you can't be selfish and beat these guys. They're going to put 2 on the ball. They're going to blitz the ball screens. They're going to take your best guards out of it by blitzing them. Like, the ball's got to move. So if the ball moves, typically you've got multiple guys scoring because it finds different guys that moves and finds them throughout the game. So I think if you play the way you need to play to beat these guys, the ball's going to move and you're going to have multiple guys end up scoring the ball pretty well.
LeBaron Filine coming off his career-best 9-assist game in the win over Illinois. But the big storyline is Mark Sears coming off his worst game ever in an Alabama uniform. What do you get from Mark Sears tonight?
Yeah, I mean, if
I'd bet on 20+.
Yeah, I was going to say if he's not really, if there's nothing physically going on, and I don't think anybody thinks there is, I think he'll play 35 minutes and have 20 to 25 points.
I don't know if you'll have player props in this game. I don't know if
They will.
do that.
Yeah,
Will
yeah.
they? I mean, what would you imagine his total would be?
Probably.
It's in Vegas.
It's
I
a
know.
pay-for-play game in Vegas.
Yeah.
I would say probably Houston being a 4.5-point favorite. He's coming off that. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of great games this year. I mean, small sample size. Probably 19.5.
I'd take the over.
I'd
take the over, Jim.
This has become one of those built-for-television rivalries. This will be the third time in the last 4 years Houston and Alabama have played each other. Alabama's won both of those.
Yeah, one was the game where the players made the mess on the way off the court, and then the other one, I remember us being at the Floribama. It was on Army-Navy Day, right?
Yeah, total of 7 points in both Alabama wins, so they've been extremely close. And you'll expect another close game tonight. L.J. Cryer, Emmanuel Sharp, and the guys against Alabama, 7 o'clock on TBS. So a huge day of basketball, games all day long, including Western Kentucky, just whether it's Maui or Bahamas or wherever they're playing basketball today. If you're a basketball fan, starting around noon and all the way until midnight, you get great basketball today. And tomorrow, we'll be at Academy Sports. I think that's where I got this sweatshirt, Academy Sports. We'll be out there tomorrow with our show live. Come see us.
Yeah, I can't wait. It will be your chance, at least in person. You can still do this at nextroundlive.com, but in person to register for tickets to the big game Saturday. You can do that right there at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Highway 280 is the brand new location. Let me tell you this, man. Let me tell you this, Jimmy Dunaway. They got all the brands you love, from Nike, like you're wearing, like we both got, right? Nike. To Stanley, to Brooks, to Carhartt, to Blackstone, to Yeti, to Titleist, to Shimano, and more. 4610 U.S. Highway 280 in Birmingham. That's where we're going to be tomorrow, 9 until noon. 9 until noon, Academy Sports and Outdoors. Come see us and register for those tickets in person. But if you can't make it out, you can still register at nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com.
So we're there tomorrow. Looking forward to that live on location. Will E.G. and Taylor be with us? A chance to come by and see as many as the staff that'll be on location.
I think Little T is going to be there. I don't know if Taylor's on E.G.'s on the road somewhere.
Storm Restoration Roofing also bringing you the first part of the show. We're about to get to Iron Bowl smack talking. Somebody trying to at least make it interesting this weekend. StormRestorationRoofing.com. The website there for Greg from Pell City and our friend Andrea, his wife, and the whole Nelson family. They're there to take care of you. A free, no-cost roof inspection. Greg or one of his sons will get on your roof and check out for loose shingles or anything like that and find out if you've got a problem brewing on your roof. They'll take care of you. Free no-cost roof inspection when you call 205-542-3531 or look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. His relationship with insurance companies, so important, that helps you out. Storm damage, roof replacements, insurance, roofing claims, restoration, inspections. He does it all. He's the most trustworthy guy in the business. We've been telling you about him for years. Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531. Brown.
Do you happen to know what the first fine is for field rush in the Southeastern Conference?
The first one is $100,000.
Yeah, is that what you're going to say, $100,000?
Yeah. And then you get another $100,000 for the early rush, which South Carolina got this past weekend, and others have, but not South Carolina. Who was it that was early? It was Oklahoma. Oklahoma was early.
Ole Miss was early the week before.
So they got the $200,000 this past week.
Arizona State, and probably the most egregious field rush I've ever seen. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. The clock hit 0. They didn't know. Fine $25,000. That seems like a low fine by the Big 12. 25 grand.
Big 12, SEC.
Different money?
Yeah, they don't have the same kind of money.
Yeah, 25 grand seems a bit small. I don't think that's going to dissuade anyone.
And I bet that's not going towards
the other school doesn't get it. BYU does not get the 25 Gs.
Yeah. To the Iron Bowl, cut number 10, if you will, Tyler. Yesterday we were all, I think we were thankful. It's Thanksgiving week. I think we were amused. And we got a little juice in a little Auburn, Alabama showdown in Tuscaloosa for the Iron Bowl. This is DeMarcus Riddick, linebacker for Auburn. He gets asked about, he was recruited by Alabama and Georgia and chose Auburn. He gets asked about Ryan Williams, Alabama, the Stars, and the Iron Bowl coming up. We'll just let DeMarcus Riddick talk now.
Ryan Williams is Ryan Williams. I mean, yeah, he's electric. He's all this and that, but in my eyes, he ain't really nobody to me. Ryan Williams is himself. He ain't no big time player to me. Like I said, Bama is a big rival team. Every rival team I played, I never lost to, and I will not lose to Bama while I'm here. I mean, he is a good quarterback. He's fast, but I mean, he's not faster than me. I'm pretty as that. Like, he will not get out that box this week.
I mean, that you just crammed it all into one right there, my man.
Boy, he has signed a big check that entire team has to cash.
Just cram it all in one answer if you want to. Let's get everything.
Ryan Williams is nothing to me.
That's right.
I will never lose to my rival, Alabama.
Never have, never will, yep.
And Jalen Milroe's not faster than me. He will not get out of that box.
That's right, yep.
Yeah.
Just I mean, if you're going to do it, go big, right? I
mean, I don't know if I poked the Alabama cage right now.
I'm glad he did.
I am
with Jim.
too.
I know you feel the same way. I'm happy he did. We for what we do for a living, that's fantastic right there.
I mean, all you got to do is, look, motivation only goes so long until somebody gets hit in the mouth. But, you know, I do play that, hey, look, guys, I mean, this is where you are.
Here's where you've put yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we as a coaching staff have put you there as well. But this is what people are saying right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Auburn got a little motivation off of Elko. It was a week ago today. You know, we brought it up to Payton Thorne, and the next thing you know, that thing completely exploded. I'm not saying it was a difference in the game, but I do think it probably went from a 9.5 to a 10 in that atmosphere.
If you go watch Taylor's video that she sent out from the next round and from her personal account, but at Next Round Live, she has done a recap of that game, and she has post-game comments talking about the motivation they got from Mike Elko saying Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, Auburn, that was the first thing they sent out right after the game, you know, on their social media. As Forrester points out in the mybookie.ag chat room, the best part of all of that is the guy that is dogging out Ryan Williams is the guy that will never be one-on-one on Ryan Williams. Somewhere in DB's
again, he's laying it out there for everyone.
Now, I mean, the whole Jalen Milroe thing, he can back that one up. But Ryan Williams, Riddick will never. I mean, if ever Alabama gets Williams on Riddick, I would think they're probably going to look to go there, right? I mean, that's kind of a mismatch.
But the truth is, Auburn's level of intensity coming into this game. The biggest wild card in this game is I don't know what Alabama's going to bring to the table. I don't know what Jalen Milroe will bring to the table. I don't know the energy of Ryan Williams in this game now that everything they've got that they've been playing for is off the table. There is no SEC championship. There is no college football playoffs. So you've got to find self-motivation to win a rivalry game. And truth be told, Jalen Milroe is from Texas and Tyler Booker's from Connecticut, and Alabama's recruited nationally. Kaylor DeBoer's from South Dakota. I mean, it's just...
I could sell some false hope.
You can?
Yeah, I mean, I would just go in there and say, hey, look, last weekend was insane. I mean, you're basically telling, I don't know, the kid that... help me out, Tyler. The kid that went into the cave head first, and they tried to extract him. What is that thing called?
Oh, was that the...
We talked about it last week, where the kid went exploring.
It's like S-shaped cave or N-shaped cave.
So you're the EMT telling him, hey, it's going to be okay.
Yeah,
knowing that 1 or 2% chance of this kid surviving. So I'm telling my team, hey, look, if things break the way, the only thing you can do is go out there and play 60 minutes of your A game. Yeah. And then everything else, if these things happen, we don't even need to get into them, but there are things that can happen. But we know if you lose this game, you got no shot. So I would sell that false hope.
I would like to know our audience where they think, on the scale of 1 to 10, where the motivational scale is for this Alabama team, where their tank will be this weekend.
Yeah, where do
you think it'll be, Brownie?
It's really hard to know. Here's something that's interesting, and this is on me. I meant to bring this up to Booker yesterday. I was going to, but we kind of got. I did not anticipate we were going to have to spend so much time talking about Oklahoma. I thought about bringing this up last week. And then we spent all that time thinking about Oklahoma. Tyler has found the answer. What you got there, Tyler?
That is a Nutty Putty Cave.
Nutty Putty
Cave.
Okay.
The guy in Utah got stuck head first.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Tyler.
You got to tell me. We got a shot.
We're not Nutty Putty Cave guys.
You see it right there?
Yeah, that ain't good. That is a bad place to be right
that's
there.
Alabama right now.
That's their playoff chances?
That is the playoff chances.
Yeah. Yep. They got a foot in the playoff. That's it.
They do. There is some way that you can get that guy out, but it's a 1 in a million.
I think they decided there was no chance, right?
I think
no, that guy didn't make it.
Well, he didn't make it, but they didn't tell him that up front, right? They're like, we're going to try to get you out of there.
Yeah, they tried, but
just
there
breathe
was
slowly.
no way to get them out of there, or get him out of there without breaking his legs and killing him in the process of getting him out.
I'd rather you. Well, I don't know.
I'd
rather you kill me in the process than me just lay there and die.
The old joke: I didn't cheat on you. Oh yeah, you tripped, you fell, and you just landed on his junk. That really is that right there.
I know you're right. But Nick Saban a couple of weeks ago on game day. You want to do that real quick? Go ahead.
Our friends at CPAP bringing you the show, and we'll get back to our thoughts on the Iron Bowl. CPAP Plus, telling you about the games we have coming up this weekend and how you can stay out of the silly putty cave there
Nutty
when you're
putty.
trying to sleep? Nutty putty?
Yeah, Nutty Putty Cave.
Look, that good sleep, man. There is nothing underrated about that. You need the great sleep. Our friends at CPAP Plus, they can help you. They are CPAP users themselves, so they know exactly what it's like, what you're looking for. Stop into one of those 3 convenient locations of CPAP Plus. Again, there's a location on Highway 280, Trustful, Pelham. Google CPAP Plus. Plenty of great 5-star reviews and more. Get into the O'Neill brothers. Every night of sleep matters, and you can get it from our friends at CPAP Plus.
And our friends at Urology Centers, Alabama.com. 35 urologists, 16 locations, treating all your urological needs, from prostate health to kidney stones, vasectomies, and so much more. Drove past UCA yesterday on my way to an oil change and meeting someone for lunch in Homewood yesterday. I was like, there's one of the UCA locations right there. Urology Centers, Alabama.com to get more details. 205-930-0920 to make that appointment. Urology Centers, Alabama.com.
So James leads into what I was about to discuss here. And he doesn't say this explicitly, but this is a little bit of what we've had all year with Kalen DeBoer is, boy, Nick Saban never would have done that. Nick Saban never would have done that. Nick Saban. And we've said it a lot of times when it's actually not true, that some of these things happened under Nick Saban, right? And James says in the MyBookie.ag chat room, y'all are acting like Alabama needs extra motivation for the Iron Bowl. Alabama has a bigger problem on its hands, and saying if it needs extra motivation. Nick Saban himself said that on game day this year. Do you guys remember that? And that's what I was going to say. I was going to bring up with Booker. I thought about it last week, but after the Oklahoma loss, there were 4 more pressing things to discuss, and I just forgot to bring it up yesterday. Nick Saban said on game day that his team got up for Alabama, Tennessee. His team got up for Alabama, LSU. He had to work to get them up for the Iron Bowl, which was a very surprising comment to me for Nick Saban to honestly say like that.
People look at standings.
Yeah.
And in the last few years, that has not been near the top of the standings.
Yeah, and I think there was a lot of times in the past where these players really didn't know what the line was on these games. And I think because social media is out there everywhere, and they look at it sometimes, and there's been points where Alabama was a 4-touchdown favorite against Auburn. And if you're one of these guys and you look at it, damn, we were like that against Mercer. You just think you can go out and go through the motions.
Yeah.
So I would tell you that it's different now because you're so used to playing for these championships, this thing that the game only now matters for the state of Alabama.
Currently, and you mean like this specific
game is for a state championship.
That is correct, yeah.
Right?
It is one of the few years in the last 20 that it has only meant anything in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, and I don't think Alabama fans or Alabama players sign up for that.
I don't think so either.
And that used to be a huge deal in our state every year. And then Nick Saban changed that because it was a consistent pursuit of something bigger than a state championship. And now that it's only for a state championship, I'm just wondering, can these guys who are used to eating lobster come back down and eat Red Lobster?
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, interesting way to analogize it. I remember as a kid, a lot of times I didn't know what the record was because, every year both of these teams weren't going to be playing for a national championship.
That was the thing. Yeah, when we were kids, it was never for a national championship.
Yeah, so, there wasn't an SEC championship, so the records literally didn't matter back then. And I think now it's just, and I like the game where it is now. I like a 12-team playoff, but it's different.
Payton Thorne in our next segment to talk about that game. The show being brought to you today by our wonderful friends at Rodney Scott Barbecue. I stopped by and saw some of those guys yesterday. They thanked us for coming out to Trussville. I was in their Homewood location, and they are just loving their association with us. And I said, man, I appreciate you guys teaching me about the word spatchcock.
Yeah, well, I think everybody appreciates that. Brown already knew it because he's a master of the grill.
Oh, yeah.
But I had one of my friends reached out, said advertising really does work over in the Trussville area. They picked up the spatchcock turkey as well. You've still got time to order these. You've got a QR code right there that Scott has pulled up. You can go to RodneyScottsBBQ.com. They are taking orders right now, the pre-orders for Thanksgiving, homemade southern sides, desserts, and the spatchcock turkey. Pit cooked, smoked over hot coals for hours, seasoned with that famous rib rub and Rod's original sauce. Support local this holiday season. Rodney Scott's Barbecue is locally owned and operated. Again, to pre-order the QR code or RodneyScottsBBQ.com.
Would you find gentlemen like to peruse a few college football point spreads for the good folks?
Yes. And when you do that, I'll check Bama Houston for basketball.
Okay.
Because I saw 4.5 in my bookie for Auburn.
Clemson, a 2.5-point favorite over South Carolina. That has only dropped since the opening. Interesting game there. I guess people are starting to talk like South Carolina's got a shot to get in this thing. I don't know if they do or not.
Well, if this is the talk, then we know what's going to happen in that game.
That means a Clemson win, right?
Clemson will win that game.
Notre Dame, a 7.5-point favorite at USC. Now, I do know Notre Dame needs that win. I don't know that a loss is detrimental to them, but I don't think they want to roll the dice.
Yeah, I mean, look, I really think USC's got a great shot in this game, and I don't think it really matters now.
Alabama, minus 11.5. Still holding right there. The Crimson Tide, 11.5-point favorites in that game. Probably the most interesting game of the weekend is going to be that Texas A&M game. It is still Texas favored 6 right there in College Station for the renewal of that rivalry. What'd you find on Bama Hoops there, Jimmy D?
I got -4. Houston, the favorite in that one.
Yeah, so. I saw 4.5 both games tonight in state.
So there you go.
There you go. You can find all of those and play all of those at mybookie.ag. Code next round. When you sign on at mybookie.ag, you sign on at code next round, and they're going to give you a great deposit for the casino area. 300% your deposit bonus. 300% bonus of your deposit right there to play in the casinos at mybookie.ag when you use code next round. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere, and enjoy those great casinos. mybookie.ag for a 300% deposit bonus in the casinos. mybookie.ag, code next round. Payton Thorne talks Iron Bowl next.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there, on the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy. Have fun out there.
Hey, you. It's the holidays. Give cheer a lift. And at New Balance Birmingham, we got the gift. That holiday vibe? Find it inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Thanksgiving is here, and let the New York Butcher Shop be the place to get all of your holiday meal items. Their premium turkeys are fresh, free-range, and hormone-free. The New York Butcher Shop also has a wide selection of chef-prepared side items to help save you time in the kitchen. Pick up a bottle of wine, and your meal will be complete. Turkeys are selling fast, so place your order today. 2 locations to serve you, in Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs,
Trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Happy football season. At the next round, we strive to make our loyal listeners feel like they're a part of the action all season long. My name is Emily Grace McWhorter, and I do that by bringing you along for any given Saturday in Auburn or Tuscaloosa. From pregame warm-ups, touchdowns that make you feel a part of the play, and everything in between, our goal is to make you feel like you're inside Bryant Denny or Jordan Hare. Follow along on our social media at Next Round Live on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Also, check out thebarnauburn.com and covercrimson.com while you're at it. Here's to fall Saturdays.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. From the creators of The Next Round comes two new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. Two team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. CoverCrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Hey, this is Matt Roth, the franchisee of Walk On Sports Bistro in Birmingham. With the kickoff of football season, come visit us at one of our three locations, Stadium Trace, Greystone, or Trussville. Come enjoy our scratch kitchen menu while watching one of our 80 TVs. Whether you're looking for a pre- or post-game celebration, game day, or date night, we've got you covered. It's all about the win at Walk On Sports Bistro. Walk On, where everybody needs a little playing time.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy, have fun out there.
Back with you on The Next Round. Payton Thorne scheduled to be with us here in just a second. Part of the show is being brought to you by our friends at Grace Tree Service. Here's the photo of the day.
Oh, thought you were going to show the tree in my backyard that Grace took down.
Joe Burrow after winning the Payton Thorne after beating Texas A&M this past weekend, smoking the cigar at the locker.
Peyton's got him a stogie in the locker room, huh? How about that?
That's a nice looking picture of Payton Thorne. That's one that you get you get framed. Maybe you get somebody to paint that for you. Hang that one over the, I don't know if you want to hang it over the bed, but maybe hang that on the mantle over the fireplace.
I'd go fireplace.
Smoking the cigar at the locker. Yeah. We'll talk to Payton Thorne after you tell us about Grace Tree Service.
I think that's illegal smoking indoors now, but I don't want to be that guy.
That's a state building.
Family owned and operated for over 25 years right here in Birmingham. They are the experts in high-risk tree removals, pruning, soil health treatment to strengthen those trees and plants. Brown had the crew out yesterday. I had them out a couple of months ago. Trusted by nearly every golf course in town of the Birmingham Zoo. No competition. Call 205-281-6100. Tell them The Next Round sent you. You can scan that QR code or just visit graystree.com.
A little breaking news before we go to Peyton. Mack Brown announced last week that he intended to return to North Carolina. You know who was not interested in that?
North Carolina.
Yes, he has been fired. Mack Brown has just confirmed to the team that he has been fired.
Know the room.
No, thank you, Mack. We're done. Payton Thorne with us, the Auburn quarterback, joins us. He's wearing his Roback. Don't forget, we give you a great deal on Roback, code TNR20 to save 20% off your first order. What is up, Payton? How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. I know you've seen the photo because you were looking right in the camera. You knew it was being made. That is an amazing photo that Jim showed. You're going to keep that one for life, I would imagine.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll keep that one around. The family will probably have that one somewhere at some point.
Hey, so congratulations. Tough-ass performance, by the way. Talked about it yesterday. That was gutty, especially that fourth down run, the hit that you took. A lot of great things on Saturday, but going 4 overtimes, we just don't see that a lot in college football. If I took you back your most exciting game as a starting quarterback, 2021 Michigan, where you guys come back and win that game. I think there was a double overtime game against Wisconsin in 22. and then Saturday night in Jordan-Hare, what was the most exciting game? Or if it was another game, what was it?
Yeah, those two jump out for sure. I think we beat Nebraska in 2021. I think that was overtime too. That was an exciting game just because it was overtime. We didn't play that well on offense from what I remember. So this one is definitely up there. I'd say it's this one in the Michigan game in 2021 for me in my career. But this one presented something different. It was we were able to fans storm the field. I didn't know if they were going to or not. I had asked Luke Deal, actually. He could tell you on Friday. I said, do you think they're going to storm it when we win tomorrow night? And he said, I don't know. And I was like, I don't know either. I didn't 100% know what A&M was ranked. I knew they were somewhere in the, teens, but I hadn't looked up, what they were 100% ranked. And then, obviously, the way it ended and everything, they went ahead and stormed it. I just turned around after running on the middle of the field, and there were some students right behind me, slapping me on the head. So that was cool because back at Michigan State, that was a game that they would have stormed the field, but they can't because the wall is so high up there that the field is never going to get stormed there. So this one was pretty awesome, and it's something that you'll never forget, really.
Yeah, you want those students in that wall. You need them on that wall. Payton Thorne is with us now. Hey, congratulations.
I bet he didn't get that reference.
Yeah. Have you seen that movie? Do you know the movie Jim's referencing there?
No, which one?
It was a play on A Few Good Men.
Does Jim know the movie Jim's referencing?
I have seen it.
A Few Good Men's a great
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
So I'm wondering when you connect the dots moving into the Iron Bowl now, what does a win like that do confidence-wise for that locker room moving into play rival on the road?
Yeah, it's got to do something. To be able to get in one of those games again and actually come on the right side of it, it gives guys confidence, like you guys said, to try to do it again. This will be a huge win for us if we can go get it done on the road in Tuscaloosa. Obviously, nothing needs to be said about the rivalry. That speaks for itself. But then for us, we got 5 wins. We're 5-6 right now, and we win this one, we get to, play again. So me and this senior class, I know that we're not ready to be done yet. We'd love to get another one and get these young guys moving in the right direction in terms of the direction of the program. And this win would mean a ton to us going out, and then also the guys that, are trying to build something here. So the game means a lot without any records. And then when you toss in our 5-6 record, trying to get a bowl game and finish the season out the right way, this game means a lot.
TheBarnAuburn.com is where you can get all the coverage of Auburn. The Barn Auburn YouTube channel has a lot of great original stuff on it, original content, and TheBarnAuburn.com website. Join for $1 to get on the message board there. You said it, I think, 3 times in that answer, how much this game means. You are from Chicago. You started your career in Michigan. You have not been in Auburn very long. Did you? Your first one was in Jordan-Hare. Those are a little bit different, obviously. Did you prepare yourself properly for this? Like when you first played in an Iron Bowl, you're like, okay, that was even more than I was told it was going to be.
Yeah, I think that I was ready for it, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say that it was a big shock to me or anything like that. Obviously it's a huge game, and I'm not going to underplay that by any means. The fans really don't like each other at all. And then when you get on the field, obviously it's great competition. It's 2 good schools with talented guys and storied programs. So it's going to be a good game. And playing in it last year was obviously a crazy game. Unfortunately, the way it ended. But, I had played in big games before. I'm not saying that they're the same as this one. Obviously, this one is the greatest rivalry in all of college football. So it's awesome to have the opportunity to play in this game. I'm blessed to have another opportunity this year and to get to go do it on the road now, too, and get to experience that. So, I'm excited about this opportunity. I know the rest of my teammates are as well. And, we're going to put a good week preparation together and get ready to go on the road.
Because we did it last week, we'll do it again this week. Are you ready for your disrespect moment of the week? Last week it was Mike Elko saying we're getting ready for Auburn. Do you guys pay attention to the point spreads in Las Vegas?
I'll sometimes see them on accident. If I'm looking at the ESPN app, I'll look at just random if I'm looking at the matchups, it'll just like pop up. It's like usually the first thing on there, so I'll see it, but I don't search it up.
What do you think the number is this weekend in Tuscaloosa?
Oh, geez, man. I have no idea.
You guys are an 11.5-point underdog.
Okay. All right. That's
I mean,
that's all right, I guess. No odds makers are playing in the game, so I'm not too concerned about that.
Do you feel like it's disrespectful? I mean, I just talking to Auburn fans, they were like, this number's going to be like 7, and it might be a touchdown, but I think a lot of people were surprised it was double digits.
Yeah, I don't know what they use to put into that. Obviously it's different in most games, and so yeah, like I said before, I'm not going to be researching that one too much, so I'm not worried about that.
Did you ever have media training? Because I love the comment before the one Lance just asked, because as a Michigan State guy and an Auburn guy, you were able to both complement this rivalry while also taking a shot at Michigan, your old rival, by saying that this is the greatest rivalry in college football. Was that? That was so well played. Have you taken a media class before that you can take a shot at your old rival while complimenting this game that you're about to play? That was brilliant.
Yeah, I guess it works out. A little, what do they say? Kill two birds with one stone.
So 1 week ago, Lance just referenced it. 1 week ago, we told you the Mike Elko line. You had not heard it yet, or at least you acted like you had not heard it yet. That could have been part of Jim's media training there. But it obviously became, I don't know if in the locker room, but among the fan base, Auburn Twitter sent it out. How much did that infiltrate your locker room? Shortly after we talked to you, one of your teammates put it out on their Instagram story. The tweet that Taylor sent out with Mike Elko saying that. How big a talking point was that for you guys?
Yeah, guys found out about it pretty quickly, and I know some guys were obviously pretty pissed off about it. For me, it didn't do too much for me personally. Obviously, he slipped up and tried to correct himself. Whether he did slip up or maybe it was the the human brain's a crazy thing, and so even when you do slip up like that, it's like maybe there's a little something there. And I know a lot of my teammates did take it personally, and some of our defensive guys for sure were not happy about that. And so I had a couple guys on our defense who had relation to coaches over there that said, "Bro, Pete, please take it to these guys this week. I cannot stand these guys. Like, you got it. We got to come out here with the win. I can't stand these guys."
Yeah. So
I was like, all right, let's do it.
I think what Peyton said right there, if I could translate, is that our show was responsible for the win. Was that what you meant when you said that, Peyton?
You said our what?
Our show, this show. We were responsible for the win. If we had not told you that, you guys probably don't win the game.
Oh, of course, obviously.
Okay. Yeah, hey, stir them up with that 11.5. That's what you need to do when you get off the interview here. So 4th and 31, Gravedigger. I know you hate hearing that. But we talked about, one of your greatest games that you've played in. I mean, was that the hardest hit game after the fact? And, where was your perspective on that one play?
You're saying, was last year the hardest loss?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no question. I mean, it's not even close, to be honest. Just the way that game ended and the emotions of, feeling like we had gotten it done. And, I felt like I gave everything I got that game. Just like, most games, just about every game I play, I feel that way at the end. But that one especially, just because of the game it was. And, I did a lot of running that game. I know our offensive line and Jarquez and everyone else played their tails off. Our defense played their tails off too. They did a freaking great job the entire game. And then for it to end that way, I was practicing snaps with Connor on the sideline because we were just going to, knee it out. I looked up at the clock and I was like, geez, well, we don't even have to run a play. Oh, and, then I'm on the sideline. I didn't even see him catch it. I just heard the crowd go silent. And I'm like, well, there's no chance. Surely he didn't catch it. And I looked down there and they're celebrating. So, that's one that's going to stick with you for a long, long time. We sat in the locker room. I sat in there for like an hour. It just speechless, And so that's definitely the hardest loss of my career, probably in any sport. And then, obviously you go into the offseason having to have that taste in your mouth, unfortunately.
For all the people who are watching that have never played a game, are you able to use that pain in preparation this week?
It's easy to say you can, but to be honest, there's not much it can do for you now. Obviously we have a different team this year. They have a different team. They got a different coaching staff. It's a whole year ago. It's easy to say, yeah, absolutely. We're going to use that as fuel and everything. And maybe some guys can find a way. But for me personally, it's like, it's a new year. I got new guys around me. They got new guys on their team. Like I said, I got a different defense. So it's just about blocking out the noise and putting together a good week of preparation, watching the film the right way, picking up on different tells, and then being locked in on our game plan and going and getting it done. Just playing hard like I feel like I do every week, and giving it everything I got this week on the road, and just try to play our best.
As a team leader, are you okay with guys like DeMarcus Riddick? I'll never lose to Alabama. Those type comments from yesterday.
Yeah, you guys talked about media training earlier. Obviously,
he missed that class.
That has some stuff to say. That's what they had to say, and I guess that's okay. If that's where our mindset is. Different guys get ready different ways, and so I know DeMarcus is a really good player, and I like him a lot. He's a really good guy too. So I'm looking forward to playing with him on Saturday.
Do you feel the hate for Alabama?
Yeah, you can tell when you get down here. Different people say different things. You'll see different people. The fans they really don't like each other at all. And then you understand how big of a game it is. It's hard to describe and put into words completely how it is, because it's different than maybe you'd think. But yeah, the two schools don't like each other, and this game obviously is the biggest one of the year.
Could you feel it already back in Talladega when we saw you when you were at the NASCAR race, like walking around? There were a lot of Alabama fans there too. Could you even feel it at a place like that?
Yeah, a couple people said stuff, but it wasn't too terrible. But yeah, there were a couple things said that you can definitely tell. This is a real deal rivalry.
What's the worst thing you've ever had? We're not FCC regulated, so you can let it out.
Worst thing you ever heard?
Yeah, worst thing that's been said directly to you. Whether face to face, social media, just anything where you were like, that's actually pretty good.
Man, face to face isn't too horrible. Nobody really said anything too crazy. Social media can get crazy. There's definitely been a couple weird ones, but I'd say there's the classic "go kill yourself" and whatever, and that's like, okay, nice one, good one.
Yeah.
But then somebody told me, I hope you get paralyzed next game so I never have to watch you again. I'm just like, I just randomly stumbled across that one, and I'm like, geez, man, that's pretty aggressive there. That's a little much, But you know how fans are. They'll say anything. So people, there's plenty of stuff like that throughout the years.
Yeah,
I will never unhear that. That's horrible.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff you say when you don't have to face somebody. Like, nobody would ever in a million years say that to you face to face.
Oh, no.
Not in a million years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the other ones where it's like some 10-year-old is calling you, and saying you're a bitch, and it's like, it's like you're like 7 years old. Like, why do you even have Instagram? I'm like, what in the world? And that's the class. That's the one right there. You think like, what if this little kid walked past me?
Yeah.
What are the odds he's saying that to my face?
None. And why are you following Olivia Dunn? You don't even know. Why are you following Olivia Dunn? You don't know what that is, son.
So you really have you've seen the kid in video call you a bitch.
No, he'll type it, and it's happened, a few times, and I'll just click on a profile sometimes out of nowhere, and I'm like, this kid, what? Like, did it feel that good? Like, did you really get what you needed by saying that?
Yeah, DM and tell him Santa ain't bringing him shit this year.
Yeah, I'm thinking him sitting around with his friends, like, should I send it? Should I send it? Let me send it. And they're all sitting there laughing or something. But most of the time, I don't look at the stuff. There was a point in time where there was a whole lot of comments coming in on a couple of my pictures, and I just didn't even look at any of them. And then sometimes after a game, you'll see all your DMs, and I'll just kind of scroll through and see how many there are. I'm not really reading them, but it's just like, holy cow, man, these people, this is something.
This is our final scheduled interview with Payton. It has been a blast, Payton. I know this has not always been easy. The year was a struggle sometimes, but when you showed up, you answered all the questions, and we appreciate that. And I know it probably wasn't the thing you were looking forward to the most, but it's been fun, man. We appreciate the time each week.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun working with you guys, and appreciate you guys. You guys are easy to answer questions for, so I appreciate you taking it easy on me.
Yeah, man. Good luck. We'll run into you down the road. I know football's still in the plans, but I think you could be a hell of a coach. I know you got it in your blood. That's a positive.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that is a positive.
That might be up next. I don't know yet, 100%.
Yeah. You're a good guy, man. I think you're going to be a hell of a husband someday, man. I mean, what? You're going to be a hell of a coach. Go play football, man. Go make history.
All the best, Payton.
Thank you, guys.
Yep, thank you, buddy. Take care. That is Payton Thorne, the Auburn quarterback. You can get everything Auburn at thebarnauburn.com, thebarnauburn.com. Join for $1 for the first month to get on those message boards and look at all the content there at The Barn Auburn YouTube channel, thebarnauburn.com. Thank you to Payton for being on with us all season.
Yeah, our show being brought to you by a couple of great folks, our friends at Hemp Hill. They bring you the lock every day, lanceslock.com. He had 7 basketball games yesterday. It took me 5 minutes to find the Alabama line when I was looking at mybookie.ag. There has to be 100 games today in basketball.
There are a lot of games. We are putting it together, but yeah, there will be last night 5 and 6. Had a winning night in college hoops. We split in the NFL. The NBA is just getting so difficult with these limited minutes. 0-2 there, but we were 5 and 6 overall. We bounced back with another winning night tonight. College football, the NBA, college basketball. It's all brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Whether you experience any plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. How about this? I called Andrew last night. I had some work done at the house, and my gas fireplace is not working now. So I called him up, and I was like, can you guys help out with this? Yeah, we can help out with that.
We do it all.
Yeah, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
And a couple of ways to stay feeling great this holiday weekend. One of them is our friends at Ghost Energy. Our segment on Who Got Ghosted by Who, brought to you by Ghost Energy every week. This segment with Ghost Energy and Ghost Hydration, where you find the authentic flavors, 0 sugars, and no BS. Look for Ghost Energy and Ghost Hydration at all retailers that sell energy and hydration drinks near you. We will go to our upset alert later, maybe after Clay Travis, maybe later in the show. We're stacking up with long interviews here, but we will not ghost our upset alert. We'll get to that. Dan Orlovsky's with us at 10:30. That's where we usually do our upset alert. Maybe we'll do it after Dan when we talk NFL football. Show also brought to you by HydroLife. So important to stay hydrated this weekend.
Yeah, IV therapies, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, now weight loss therapy, all under one roof. Very simple. Go to hydrolifetherapy.com. You can book your appointment right there. You can get gift cards for the holidays, great stocking stuffers. But if you can't make it to one of those great locations, you can actually have a nurse come to your home or business. 2 locations in Birmingham, the original in Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone, Tuscaloosa as well. Very important. Mention the next round, 20% off all the great services. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com.
If you don't think this game can be important inside the state of Alabama, back to the importance of the Iron Bowl, and I don't know how much, because it used to be a big deal in recruiting to win this game. And I know NIL and things like that factor in now, but the potential of this being really, really big for Kalen DeBoer and his coaching staff is out there. Because if you look at the new 2025 Rivals rankings of their top 250 players, this is something that's been growing in recent years, and it was only a matter of time. The nation looks like this. Florida has 40 players in the 250 for Rivals, top 250 players. Georgia has 36. Texas has 32. California has 22. And then the state of Alabama has 14. Almost the same number of Rivals 250 as the state of California has.
It has always per capita been one of, if not the top recruiting spots in America when you go 4 and 5 stars per capita. Alabama's always been really high there, but now you don't even have to do the per capita.
You do not.
I mean, at least on this one year. And it has been a little bit cyclical historically in Alabama. there'll be a year in Alabama where you got a bunch of 4 and 5 stars, and then another year where you don't have as many, and then it seems like 3 years later, it's that thing. I don't think it's ever been as consistent as Florida and Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, really, the fair way to do it back in the day was to look at like the combination across of Georgia, Alabama, like Louisiana.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, the population is just so insane.
Yeah.
But I now you bring that up. Georgia's got 36, Florida's got 40, Texas has 32, all SEC footprints. California 22, Alabama's got 14. Ohio's got 12. After that, Mississippi has 9.
Wow.
Louisiana has 9. Tennessee has 8. Tennessee's growing when it comes to 4 and 5 stars.
That was always the knock on the Tennessee program.
Right. Yeah, it was why Phil Fulmer used to always have to recruit nationally.
Yep.
Everybody would say he's got to recruit nationally because he can't recruit in his own backyard. There just aren't enough good players, to make Tennessee a legitimate contender.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the top 9 are SEC footprint states. Advantage SEC.
And I do think, I wonder how important it is, because Auburn fans are waving the flag for Hugh Freeze that he's out recruiting Kalen DeBoer in the state of Alabama. And I do wonder how important is it to win your own state in recruiting.
It was not for Nick Saban, because Nick Saban would go easily into Texas, into Georgia, into California, and get the players that he wanted.
But I would say more often than not, though, he beat Auburn in state too.
For the players he wanted.
Well, yeah, but I mean, whether he wanted the best players.
That's
so
right. That's what I'm saying.
Get.
To win the state, back in the day, it was huge. To win the state, it isn't about who has the most 5 and 4 star recruits in the state. It is about who has the best recruiting class. And would I rather have a 4-star recruit here or a better 4-star recruit from California? You want the best player.
I would think so, but I don't.
Just by numbers, you can't look at it.
Yeah.
But when you've got 14 of the top 250, winning the state becomes more and more important.
All things equal, you would rather have somebody from your area, though.
For instance, I don't.
That's right.
I think
homesickness, players, family can travel.
You say that, but I will say this too: the homesickness thing is, I think, a real thing. But it's also easy to go back home if you're close to home. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. You can get away from the noise.
Yeah. Well, no. I just mean like if it doesn't work out. Yeah. If I'm from Birmingham and I'm playing in Tuscaloosa or Auburn, and it doesn't work out, it's real easy for me to go back to mom and dad. Yeah. Real easy.
Kirby was getting a little bit of a knock last recruiting cycle that he wasn't doing enough in the state of Georgia because it's really high in this. But, he basically said, I'm going to get the best 25 players in the country. I'm not really necessarily worried about recruiting Georgia. I know we got Georgia on our helmets. We're trying to get the best 25. And sometimes that works out being the in-state players. But when the talent level goes up, and then I really believe buy into your program. If you're a kid who grew up an Auburn fan, right? If you're a kid who grew up an Alabama fan, I think you look historically, you are better playing for those programs you grew up loving, right?
Well, and the other thing it takes away, because we are starting to lose that love and that passion for the program. We've talked about that before with NIL. If you get one of these guys that grew up, obviously their dad, their uncle, their family are fans as well, it's going to be really difficult not only for them to come in and just bust ass, but more importantly now, not to transfer out.
Yeah, and it's exactly right, because if you love Auburn, you're going to stay at Auburn. If you love Alabama, you grew up that way, you're going to stay at Alabama. The money isn't going to entice you as easy to leave. To finish the thought, if you do get close, Brownie, if the 5-star or 4-star in California or the 5 or 4-star, maybe a slightly better evaluation of the California kid, I'd rather have the kid at Alabama, from Alabama, who grew up an Alabama fan or who grew up an Auburn fan, because I think that can close the gap a little bit.
I do wonder, though, like somebody in the mybookie.ag chat room points out Kirby missing on Caleb Downs. And I wonder which one hurts more, like if you lose it to your in-state rival or you lose it to your out-of-state rival. I think that's what hurts more.
Well, if you're Georgia, it's out-of-state because Georgia Tech getting bothered.
Yeah, but I know that, but I'm just talking about in any situation. So, like if Alabama had a kid that they were one of the finalists and he wasn't even really considering Auburn, or vice versa, and this is a high 5-star, and you lose him to Georgia, to me, I'd rather lose him in state. I know that sounds stupid. I'd rather lose him in state.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd rather lose him out of conference.
Yeah, out of conference,
but
where
that's not going to be a choice.
It doesn't have to come back on me. This guy beat me.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like if I'm Kirby, Maybe I could swallow losing him to Georgia Tech because the kid just wanted to stay in state, but he's going to play at Alabama. He's not even staying in state. That was my point.
Our friends at New York Butcher Shop will get to Clay Travis on the other side, getting you ready for Thanksgiving coming up this weekend. I've ordered, LT's ordered, we're ready to go. But year-round, New York Butcher takes care of it.
New York Butcher Shop, Jim and his guys, if you're just stopping in for pick up some smash burgers, some great steaks, they've got it all there. But they do want to remind you, you've still got time to order everything this Thanksgiving from our friends at the New York Butcher Shop. Their turkey's fresh, all natural, hormone-free from Joyce Farms, one of the best poultry producers in all of America. They can also smoke or brine the turkeys for you. They've also got smoked hams, certified Angus prime beef tenderloins, rib roast. All of their side dishes prepared in-house will feed 8 to 10. However, they do have the smaller sides that will feed 4 to 6. Don't forget the desserts, pies, cakes, banana breads, great wine selection as well. Stop into one of those 2 locations. Tell them the next round sent you. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality. Well done, service.
And DanielMooreArt.com, getting you ready for the holiday season. That 2025 calendar is available for you right now. If you're an Alabama fan, it is the perfect gift for them. And you can use our coupon code TNR. Coupon code TNR gets you 20% off that calendar. And that painting right there, The Legend, a tribute to Coach Nick Saban and his 6 national championship seasons. Order that and all the works from Daniel A. Moore right there at DanielMooreArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Hey, this is Matt Roth, the franchisee of Walk On Sports Bistro in Birmingham. With the kickoff of football season, come visit us at one of our 3 locations, Stadium Trace, Greystone, or Trussville. Come enjoy our scratch kitchen menu while watching one of our 80 TVs. Whether you're looking for a pre- or post-game celebration, game day, or date night, we've got you covered. It's all about the win at Walk On Sports Bistro. Walk On, where everybody needs a little playing time.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy. Have fun out there.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Looking for a great place for that boring meeting? Leave the office and go to the Golfus. What about corporate events like board meetings, sales meetings, customer appreciation events? How about the Golfus? Watch parties for football and basketball, parties for birthdays or couple showers. The Golfus is a great place for those. The Golfus has Birmingham's best golf simulators and man caves in Vestavia on Highway 31, opening soon in Trussville and on Highway 280. Bring whatever you want to eat or drink, even bring your own clubs. Get out of the office. Go to the Golfus. Book your spot now at thegolfus.com.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
You can't wait for college football talk every Monday, so we don't make you wait. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. You can catch ESPN's Tom Luganbill with Jim Dunaway on Monday Morning Live at 7 a.m. I'm with Brandon Marcello on the Middle 8 at 8 after the Next Round. Hear from Alabama coach Kalen DeBoer and Auburn coach Hugh Freeze. After the coaches talk, Fox Sports analyst Brock Huard joins Lance Taylor for Unlocked at 1 o'clock. All college football, all day Monday, anywhere you get the Next Round.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
The happiest man on the planet, Clay Travis, joins us in just a second. Successful campaign, successful radio show, and now his volunteers are locked in to the college football playoffs. Barring a major upset by Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt in Nashville. We'll talk about that with Clay after LT tells us about Inverness.
Yeah, find your sense of community at Inverness Country Club. Inverness Country Club, great place to meet others in the community. Maybe you've relocated to retired Inverness, great place to network. They've got memberships that will fit everyone's lifestyle, from the social membership to the golf membership, childcare. We've talked about it, big plus. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kid? Whatever your interests are, you can find it at Inverness Country Club. Best days happen there. Take a tour of the club today. Call Aaron. Tell her the Next Round sent you. 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608 or online, iccalabama.com.
Clay Travis is the founder of Outkick. You see him on Fox as well. He's with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Clay? How are you?
I'm great. How are y'all?
Doing fantastic. Thank you so much. If you just had to guess, Tennessee, who was out of the playoff brackets last week, got the benefit of a couple of nice upsets in front of them, with Bama losing at Oklahoma, Ole Miss losing at Florida. You think Tennessee will be ranked where tonight when this comes out?
I'm projecting what the committee will do here, not what I think
Sure.
should be the situation, right? So I think they will keep the top four the same: Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, and Penn State. I think that Notre Dame will be 5. I think that Georgia will be 6. I think Tennessee will be 7. And then I think you will get Miami 8. That's where you start to get into a little bit of a dicey situation. I think they'll go Indiana 9, SMU 10. This is off the top of my head, so if I'm screwing it up, or forgetting somebody, you guys can let me know. I think that in the 11 spot will be Boise State, and then I think Clemson will be 12. So that's my recollection of what I think their top 12 will look like.
With that said, do you think the ACC gets at least 2 in?
If Miami beats Syracuse to get to the conference championship game at 11-1, and if SMU beats somebody not very good,
Cal.
I forgot who they're. Cal. I think they're 2 touchdown favorites in that game. If they win that game, then yes, I think the likelihood is that there will be 2 ACC teams, with the caveat being there's still a lot that can happen, right? I mean, Notre Dame could lose to SC. Tennessee could certainly lose to Vanderbilt. Heck, I mean, Georgia could lose to Georgia Tech. Texas could lose to Texas A&M. There are a lot of different things out there that would not stun me based on what we've seen in the college football playoffs so far. In fact, I would bet on one of those teams I just ran through losing one of those games, just like I think I told you guys last week. I thought that there was a good chance that I think we had the discussion, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, where if you basically were playing, I think a lot of fans don't think this way. They tend to look at individual matchups and say, oh, For instance, like I just said, SMU is going to beat Cal, and that may well be true. And you might look at it and say, Miami's going to beat Syracuse. But what you really need to do is think about it as something that gamblers sometimes do, which is a money line parlay. That is, what's the likelihood that all of the favorites win if you stack them all together? And that typically doesn't happen because, again, it's all probability based. And even if there's an 80% chance of something happening, if you stack a lot of 80% together, one of the 20% is going to win, for lack of a better way of describing it. So I think there will certainly be at least one upset among the teams that are projected to be in the playoff this week. At least one of them will lose.
Clay, I know in your position you get sneak peeks at these kind of behind-the-scenes paperwork and scenarios. So in Greg Sankey's version of Project 2025, is there a guarantee in the future of the SEC having 4 teams in this playoff as they move forward? Because he cannot like the way we have been cannibalizing each other.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think there's a pitch out there that is available where the Big Ten would get a guaranteed 4 and the SEC would get a guaranteed 4. If I were sort of waving my magic wand, not as an advocate for any particular conference, which is obviously the job of Greg Sankey for the SEC and Tony Petitti for the Big Ten and on down the list, whoever is representing those conferences is obligated to advocate for what's best for them, not necessarily what's best for the overall college football landscape. Sometimes those overlap. I think what's best personally would be eliminating the 4 automatic buys to conference champions, and just taking the 4 best teams getting a bye. So that to me is what I think should happen. And I would also look at potentially to eliminating all buys and just going straight to a 16-team playoff, where I would rather have no conference championship games. I know that there's a lot of money making going on there, and that on an individual basis it makes sense. But I actually think the bigger the playoff is, the more money everybody stands to make. I don't know that many people. I mean, maybe you guys are different, but I don't know that many people that are really that excited in the event that Texas wins in watching Texas and Georgia play for the SEC championship. I mean, I'll watch, but I'm way more interested in the playoff games that are taking place on campus. And by the way, the other thing I would say is I would expand to 16. I would say we're leaving it there. And I would also put every game on campus at the higher seed, as opposed, except for the championship game, just like the NFL does, with the exception of the Super Bowl. Every game is on campus. And for people out there who scream, oh, the regular season doesn't matter, hey, I think it would matter a lot if you got to travel to your favorite college campus to watch your favorite team potentially play 3 playoff games in a row. I also think, and look, maybe I'm being a bit Pollyanna-ish on this, but I don't know that a lot of the grand poobahs of athletics are thinking about what it costs to follow your favorite team on super short notice. Let's say that you are a Texas Longhorn fan, right? Or Texas A&M. Let's say they get in. You're talking about a quick trip to Atlanta from Texas, which is not that easy, right? It's not like you can hop in your car and make a 4 or 5 hour drive like a lot of SEC fan bases could, right? And then if you lose, you're talking about a week later, a couple weeks later, having to go on the road potentially somewhere for a game. And then if you win that one, you got another road trip. And then if you win that one, you got another road trip. I just don't know how, in a big stadium, I just don't know how many fans are wealthy enough to be able to follow their team all over the country in potentially 3 or 4 extra games. I don't think there are that many people that have that money, that have that flexibility. And remember, it's all happening on short notice, and the games are all over the country. You might have to go to Florida. You might have to go to California.
Last time I heard a sequence of tones like that, it was on a military comms phone. Are you somewhere special today?
You know what? I presume that China has hacked my phone. So no, I'm in Nashville, getting ready to head down to Florida tonight. But as soon as the Trump victory happened, I just presumed that everything I say China hears.
Actually, the MyBookie.ag chat room remembered when we had the Tiger King going from jail, and those beeps were followed by, "This call is from a correctional facility." So,
you know what I just noticed? I don't know if you've done the latest iPhone update.
I have not.
I did it for whatever reason for me last night. In the top left corner of my phone, it now shows that I can record calls. Has anybody else seen this yet? So when I'm holding my phone to my ear, I just noticed that when you guys called. I mean, I did it last night. So I wonder if somehow I've hit a button and I'm recording this call too.
Wow. Wow. This will be the next thing that gets somebody canceled.
Hey, no doubt about that.
Yeah, hey, by the way, God, there's no telling what's going to happen there. But I would just like to say hi to everybody in Beijing. I hope you're enjoying all my phone calls, and I hope you guys are as excited about the college football playoff rankings tonight as I am.
Dunaway is calling my phone right now across the studio just to test this.
Oh, you really can. You really can. Okay. Call recording.
Did you just update?
I updated the other night because my wife said I had to, and she said it in Mandarin, so that surprised me.
But Dunaway, she may have figured out how she may be recording all your calls now.
That's right.
That's the next hack, right?
Yeah.
Where people are able to hack other people's calls, and the next thing you know, Dunaway, you're getting a message sent from your wife that's just every call you've had in the last year.
Just duly noted. The only reason I follow Sydney Sweeney on Instagram is for the show, Maggie. If you're listening.
By the way, speaking of famous people for their boobs, this Alabama undergrad that was in the ring.
She's coming up on 4 downs. It's her birthday today, Clay.
Oh, already her birthday.
Yeah.
That is really, really funny. I love that you're on it. So what is she turning?
The big 2-1.
Oh, man.
Drinking day.
That is, well, that means that, 21? That means she was born in 03.
Here was going to be my question. Should I just go on and throw it out to Clay? We can come up with it.
Sure, yeah.
Better 15 minutes of fame. And I forgot her name. I've got it right here. Hold on. Better 15 minutes of fame. This chick who was the ring girl, her name is Sydney Thomas.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking, because I remembered it was Sydney, like Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, or the Haktua girl.
So, you know what's funny? I don't listen to it, but the Hawk Tua girl had Mark Cuban on as her guest on her podcast in person.
I think we've answered our question then. There you go.
Yeah, Mark Cuban has fallen a long way from, owning the Dallas Mavericks to going on a viral, Nashville Girls podcast over how she likes to give fellatio. But I will
Cuban.
I give credit to the new Sydney because I actually saw that she has a Twitter account with like 50,000 followers, and I clicked on it, and she follows one person, and it's Elon Musk. And I was like, oh, you know what? I might go 50-50 on her having Elon's baby at some point in the next few years.
Wow.
Clay Travis on the Johnston RV Center.
How's that Elon marriage right now?
Drive by of our Secretary of State or whatever.
Elon has like 14 kids, I think, and he's not married. So I bet he finds out that he's following him.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Your concern level with this Vanderbilt game as a Tennessee fan, with everything in front of you now and knowing the pain you've lived through some as a Tennessee fan, what's your concern level?
100 and on 40 on a scale of 1 to 100. I mean, Tennessee losing to Vanderbilt would be the most Tennessee football. Now, I think I feel like I have to say Tennessee football now because the baseball team won the national championship this past June, and I think it's fair to say the basketball team with Rick Barnes. I mean, I know they went to the Elite Eight, won the SEC championship. I mean, they're really kind of firing on all cylinders. Should be a top 15, 16 caliber seed. I think they're number 7 in the current rankings. I mean, they're a top 10 caliber team, and they've had some success in the postseason. But no, look, I mean, 2 years ago, Tennessee was 10-1, had or 9-1, I guess, had the entire postseason picture laid out before them, and gave up 60 points to South Carolina on the road in Columbia, and Hendon Hooker tore his ACL. Now, to their credit, they bounced back, won the Vanderbilt game in a shutout, I think, and then beat Clemson in the Orange Bowl to go 11-2. So they didn't completely collapse. I mean, that's a good season, top 5 caliber year. But I mean, look, all the pressure is on Tennessee. And as much as Vanderbilt fans loved winning the Alabama game, they would much rather, I mean this, because as somebody who lives in Nashville and has grown up here, they would take much more joy in ending Tennessee's playoff hopes and winning this game to finish the year than they did even, I believe, in beating number 1 Alabama. That's how much the rivalry, how much Vanderbilt people a lot of times just hate Tennessee. It would get them to 7-5, which would be, a really good season for Vanderbilt football. It would send them off. I mean, it's their Super Bowl. So for Vanderbilt, it doesn't get any bigger than this. And for Tennessee, it's as big of a game as there's been in a long time because there is no uncertainty, right? It basically is a playoff play-in game. If you win, not only, I think, does Tennessee have a certainty of making the playoff, but I think Tennessee would have, depending on, as I talked about earlier, how some of the teams above them finish, I think Tennessee would have a somewhat decent chance of actually being able to host a home playoff game in Neyland.
Clay, I know Heupel's 1-0 against DeBoer, but this is a guy that played for the national championship last year. Obviously, serious panic mode in this state with Alabama dropping their third game. As a Tennessee fan, moving forward, are you afraid of DeBoer at all? And what do you think ultimately, how does it play out in Tuscaloosa?
Zero fear. First time that there's been zero fear of an Alabama coach since Mike Shula was on the sideline. So as a Tennessee fan, zero fear. It doesn't mean that Kalen DeBoer can't be good. It just means he's not Nick Saban. I think everybody has to acknowledge that this has been a season where there's a lot of nervousness in Tuscaloosa. Aside from, when I go back and look, and I don't know if you guys saw the stats on this, but basically if you keep Jalen Milroe from being able to run the football, you have a really good chance of beating Alabama this year. And I actually, watching that Oklahoma game, am more angry as an LSU fan that with 2 weeks to prepare, LSU let Jalen Milroe run the ball 12 times for 185 yards. Everybody else since the first half of the Georgia game in the SEC has basically shut down Jalen Milroe when it comes to running the football. Now, I think that's a bit of an indictment. Leave aside Jalen Milroe in the passing game. I don't think that Alabama's particularly elite at the wide receiver or running back positions. Certainly not compared to past years. But I think it's a bit of an indictment of Kalen DeBoer that you would get to this far into the season and there is no plan B. Okay, what happens if they stack the line of scrimmage and they've got elite linebacker play and they can basically shut down the edge for Jalen Milroe and he can't make plays with his legs? What's our counterpunch? The thing that would upset me from an Alabama fan perspective is Kalen DeBoer's had the entire season to figure out that counterpunch, and other than throwing it up to Ryan Williams in contested plays and hoping that he makes an outstanding play, which he did twice, only one of them counted, but he did it twice in Oklahoma, there doesn't seem to be a game plan on offense. And that's what would have me nervous going forward. I also think it's a good question for you guys. My 14-year-old, unfortunately, has the awful taste and is an Alabama fan. And he loves football. He plays all the time. He's an X's and O's guy. His biggest criticism of Alabama fans, this is the direct quote, most of them have no idea how to play ball, which I love. He's an X's and O's guy, right? He loves it. He plays it. He is fascinated by it. I think, what do you do with Jalen Milroe? I don't know about you guys. Who's going to draft Jalen Milroe high in the NFL draft?
It is an unknown. A few months ago, it looked like a lot of teams. Right now, it doesn't look like very many.
Right? So He actually, I think, could make more money maybe coming back to Alabama. But does Kalen DeBoer want Jalen Milroe back at Alabama? Does the average Alabama fan want Jalen Milroe back?
Million dollar question.
Yeah, literally.
I think it's a multi-million-dollar question, right? Because you were just asking me about Vandy. Diego Pavia is suing because he wants to keep his college eligibility alive because he doesn't have a huge NFL future. But I think Vanderbilt would pay him over $1 million a year to play football and come back for them, right? He's worth over $1 million a year to Vanderbilt. There are now guys who can make more money staying in college than going pro. I think Jalen Milroe would be one. But does Alabama want to keep him? And where does he project at the NFL level based on the film that's out there right now on him? Do you think somebody's going to take him in the first or second round? I don't.
It's an unknown. I mean, I would not bet on it.
Yeah,
right
I said
now.
third round yesterday,
Yeah.
Clay.
I think that's right. That's why I said I don't think somebody would take him in the first or the second round. I think somebody would take a chance on him in the third round. Where did Joe Milton go? Fourth round?
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
The reason why I mentioned Joe Milton is, he's got a unbelievable skill set, right? Like, if you just watch Joe Milton throw the football in the pocket, I mean, look at what happened with the Patriots. They were like, oh, Joe Milton might beat out, Drake May, and because he looks amazing in practice. And then he gets in the games, and he doesn't play at the same level that he does in practice. I think Joe Milton was a fourth-round pick, if I'm not mistaken. So somebody's willing to take a chance on him because he's got all the measurables. Look, Jalen Milroe, big, strong, tough, fast, has a cannon for an arm when he plays in pocket, but it clearly hasn't all come together just like it didn't for for Joe Milton. People will take chances on guys who have the measurables that aren't equal to very many other places, but they also want to see production if they're going to take him as a high pick. And I look at Jalen Milroe and I say, if I'm an NFL GM, do I want to take him high and have my job future pegged to him? Not necessarily. I would also say, like, look, you've seen guys like Anthony Richardson that have not performed. Now he's had injury issues so far. My own Tennessee Titans took Will Levis. I wasn't very happy with that pick, right? Now Will Levis has played better the last few weeks. But guys who are big and have big arms and have sort of those things that can't be equaled by most quarterbacks tend to eventually get drafted. I'm just not sure how high.
Clay, thank you very much. Have a very nice Thanksgiving weekend with you and your family.
Will do. Same to you all. And as long as Tennessee wins, it'll be a very, very good Thanksgiving.
We'll see about that next week. Thank you, Clay. Take care. Clay Travis with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. A reminder, we're at Academy Sports and Outdoors tomorrow, the new Highway 280 location, 4610 U.S. Highway 280. That is in the old Best Buy right there in the Target Shopping Center. Great selection of Nike, Stanley, Brooks, Carhartt, Blackstone, Yeti, Titleist, Shimano, and more. You can also register for tickets to Saturday's game over in Tuscaloosa in person. You can also do it online, nextroundlive.com, Academy Sports and Outdoors.
And our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing, Dan Orlovsky's up next. Don't forget Greg from Pell City on Facebook. Look him up on there. 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531. Free quote, free evaluation. He gets on that roof and he checks everything out for you. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. It's our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Go check them out. Back in a moment on TNR.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy. Have fun out there.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Thanksgiving is here, and let the New York Butcher Shop be the place to get all of your holiday meal items. Their premium turkeys are fresh, free-range, and hormone-free. The New York Butcher Shop also has a wide selection of chef-prepared side items to help save you time in the kitchen. Pick up a bottle of wine, and your meal will be complete. Turkeys are selling fast, so place your order today. 2 locations to serve you in Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well done service.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy. Have fun out there.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Fun night last night. Derrick Henry with 140 yards. Ravens, Lamar Jackson, fantastic. They beat the Chargers. Harbaugh's now 3-0 versus Harbaugh.
The old Harbaugh last night. We'll talk about some of the NFL action with Dan Orlovsky, NFL analyst, ESPN, with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Dan joins us each week, courtesy of MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round. We were watching you in the preview screen in the break, and we were commenting on the mural that we did not know you had there, Dan. What is the theme there? You are one of the quarterbacks in the mural. We were trying to figure out what the connection for the others is.
Well, the others are also me. So
you played for all those teams?
Yeah. Yep. I love to paint, so I painted that myself. I have a massive ego as well.
No, you did not. You painted that?
I'm the least artistic person on the planet. I started with Detroit, then I went to Houston, then I went to Indy, then I went to Tampa. I went back to Detroit. I don't have the Rams on there, but this was made, I don't know if you guys remember the name of the dude named Chris Myers. He was a longtime center for the Houston Texans, great player, Pro Bowl center. We played together in Houston, and we both moved to Philadelphia kind of at the end of our careers, and he was building a much bigger house than I had built. And so his house was taking longer. So him and his family needed a place to stay. So they stayed at our house. And this was kind of like a thank you gift that he got made for me.
Cool.
So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So this Charger team gets up 10-0 last night, and the way their defense is playing, I mean, that seems like a pretty sizable lead until you look at this Baltimore offense. And I think it was Troy Aikman that pointed out, what they did in the offseason, letting guys like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler go. They're just kind of limited in skill. Ladd McConkey's been really good. Where are you on the Chargers team overall? Is it going to be a problem as they get down the stretch with lack of weapons offensively?
Oh, of course it's going to be. But this team is ahead of where it should be. I sent out a tweet. I called their Monday night game maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago. And I said, Chargers are going to go to the playoffs because they're so well coached. They're so disciplined. They're efficient. you have to go and beat them. They're not going to beat themselves type of thing. But I don't think that they're up into that echelon of some of those other teams, because I think more often than not, those teams sit there defensively, we're going to play man coverage versus them. And if we feel we can cover Ladd McConkey or double them, let's make a Josh Palmer, a Quentin Johnston beat us, or a Will Dissly beat us. And those are good players, but are they going to beat you over the course of 4 quarters against good defenses? And so I still think it's a really good football team. Again, I think they're going to be in the playoffs. The real thing that I think about with the Chargers is, my goodness, how long till they're in the AFC Championship game and or the Super Bowl? And then what receiver do they go get? Or what elite tight end do they go get this offseason? Because that's going to be the thing that I think will really put them over the top.
When you see quarterbacks going through their second season as a quarterback, like C.J. Stroud, is it tougher? I mean, why do you hear phrases like the sophomore jinx or there's tape out on this guy? What do you make of C.J. Stroud right now, and is it tougher your second year as a starting quarterback?
Yeah, I think, one, you hear phrases like that because they're very real. It's not only, I have tape on the quarterback. Well, you have tape on the coordinator as well. You have tape on how they call plays for these type of people. And so it's, there's a reason why those jobs, probably the most coveted jobs in the NFL, are certainly head coach and general manager, and then quarterback, and then offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. And so those are really difficult. And if you don't consistently stay ahead of the things that, because it's a fine line between, well, we're really good at this, so we want to consistently do it, and this is our identity, while also being, predictable in a way of, all right, maybe teams know that we want to do this stuff too much. And so I say this as well, there's a reason why there's only 10 people on the planet getting $40 million to play that position. It's freaking hard, and so I think CJ's just going through that a little bit. I also say this, it's not nearly all on CJ. The offensive line's been poor. I think the details in Houston have started to slip a little bit offensively. So I think they'll fix it to be good enough to get in. They're talented enough to matter, no question, but they got to put it all together on the back end.
Dan Orlovsky is with us. He joins us each week courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Code NEXTROUND right now gets you that 300% deposit bonus in the casino when you play in the casino. There at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag. Code NEXTROUND. One of those uniforms up there is the Lions uniform. So you've played in this Thanksgiving Day game. I know we ask you about it every year when this rolls around. The atmosphere has got to feel different. The fans have got to feel different. And I can only imagine what it will feel like this year when you've got a legitimate Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere always felt like a Monday night game or a playoff game, and we were terrible. This is a very different team, but it's the celebrities that are from there or maybe attached to there. There's always a massive personality or accomplished artist that does the national anthem. And so, it's a really, really, really big deal. And the sidelines are double packed. I remember always seeing, I think I've said this, like Tim the Toolman Taylor, was always there. Eminem would be there at times. So it's an incredibly enormous deal. They hate Chicago, so Chicago coming into town and a big rival is a part of that conversation. I think everybody is aware of how special the time is right now and like the next 100 days in Detroit. Because if we're just being very, very honest, one of these coordinators is probably gone, if not both. You don't just miss or drop coordinators and not skip a beat. To say it's Super Bowl or bust is a yes when it comes to that. And I think, that place lost for so long, it's nice for them to be the bully on the block.
Dan, I think it was about a month ago when you said there is one coach that could be in the postseason that could really hurt their team, and it was Nick Sirianni. And I forgot the exact way you phrased that. And look, and I'm not a big fan. I think he is a difficult guy to like from afar. With all that said, the way the Eagles are playing right now, it has come together. Eagles or Ravens, who do you trust more right now, Thanksgiving week?
Ooh, it's a great question. I probably trust Philly more. Philly hasn't beaten themselves as much as Baltimore has beaten themselves. I think Philly's both units are better. I think Philly's offense is just as good as Baltimore's, maybe not as, but very close. Philly's defense, I think, is a a clear upgrade or step above Baltimore's. I just, my concern with Sirianni was the constant taking points off the board and the constant dice rolling. I felt like it was reckless. And, for so many games this year, they started slow. Up until last week, they had scored the least amount of first quarter points in the NFL. So I was sitting there and I said, they're unprepared. It felt like they were unprepared and I don't trust them. But obviously they're winning. So, I've got to kind of walk back that and saying, all right, no matter what I feel, just because I feel a certain way doesn't mean it's a truth type of thing. So, I think Sirianni's proving he's got this team playing, man. And I think they're the most dangerous team in the NFL. I think Detroit's the best team in the NFL. I think Philly's the most dangerous.
Is there a chance John Harbaugh is sort of using Derrick Henry at certain times so that they have him full go when it gets to be playoff time? Because they seem, I'm not saying they're managing his carries, but dang it looks like they're managing his carries.
Yeah. I think there's something to be said for that. I think that's one of the things that we often, all of us, are attached to the NFL consistently lose sight of. And it probably has trickled down a little bit to college football is, dude, if you're one of those teams in Baltimore, you're playing 20 games. You're playing 20 games. And that is an enormous amount of football. And so, all right, we're going to be there. You want everybody to be as healthy as humanly possible and playing their best as humanly possible the back end of December and into January. So it's that fine balance of, all right, 10 carries here, 10 carries there. All of a sudden, Derrick Henry's got 40 or 50 more carries that you wish he had waited and saved for in the playoffs. So I do believe that there's a philosophy attached to that.
One thing I've learned about you, Dan, over the years is the things you are willing to eat is a far more narrow group than the things I am willing to eat. So for a guy that watches what he eats, what is a Thanksgiving meal like for you?
Yeah, it's changed over the years. I used to be big onto the turkey and mashed potatoes. That was kind of it. I don't eat turkey anymore on Thanksgiving. Turkey's fine. I've always said, or at least recently, if I want turkey, I'll go to Jersey Mike's and pound a sandwich. Turkey's better on a sandwich than it is by itself. The mashed potatoes are fine as well now for me. I'd rather have steak at a steakhouse with the mashed potatoes and then turkey with the mashed potatoes. So I think I lean into the stuffing. My mom makes really good stuffing. I don't know what's in it. And then she makes that sweet potato casserole stuff that's dessert, essentially.
Yeah.
I try not to overeat, though, because I can. And I can all of a sudden be sitting there being like, I don't feel good. So I pace myself now.
Yeah, randomly, just because we did get some cold weather today, it's just been back and forth down here. What is the coldest game you've ever played in?
Oh, God, dude, I've played in negative degrees. I've played in games. I played in a game my sophomore year of high school up here in Connecticut that was so cold and so rainy that, with wind, I think it felt like 6 degrees. I fumbled the ball 9 times. I fumbled the ball. If we win, I was the sophomore starting quarterback. If we win the game, we go to the state playoffs. Now, I know it's not the South. If we lose or tie the game, we don't get in. I fumbled the ball the 9th time on the 1-yard line with 1 second left on the clock in a tie game.
No.
So, that was a tough one. We played in Green Bay on Sunday Night Football years and years and years ago, where the condensation that came from our nose froze on our beards. It was so cold. I think it was like -5 degrees. So, yeah, I've played in some tough games.
Do you seriously ever worry about losing a digit in a game like that?
I played quarterback, so.
He is Dan Orlovsky. See him all weekend long on ESPN talking about the big NFL games. Thank you so much for the time, Dan. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you again soon.
Happy Thanksgiving. I'll be there for the Auburn game this weekend, so don't kill me, guys.
Were you on? I ate at halftime. Were you on? Was he on set for Oklahoma? Were you on set for Bama, Oklahoma?
No, I was in L.A. because of Monday Night Football, but I'll be on set for this one.
Okay,
so.
well, Auburn fans are happy about that, obviously. Dan's record with Alabama is not great, but boy, if you had the Oklahoma game, that was going to be the clincher there. That's as bad as it gets for Bama. All right, thank you, Dan. Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
All right, buddy, you too. Take care. Dan with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Code NEXTROUND. Get you that 200% casino bonus when you make your first deposit. with code NEXTROUND, 300% casino bonus at mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND, mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Hey, and make sure if you're wearing the eyeglasses, the contacts, you're wasting money each and every year. I've talked about this for more than 20 years. 21 years ago, I went to see Dr. Mark Michelson, got the procedure done. I still have 2015 vision, better than 2020. Do you or a family member need to make your benefit selection at work now? Do you know your FSA or flex spending can be used to help you see clearly without the hassle of glasses or contacts? Yes, LASIK and Michelson Laser Vision might be a great choice for you. Book your free consultation with Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson. Call 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toll. The Next Round sent you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
And go see America in an RV from Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman. 334 Indicators, where you find the Johnston gang there, Johnston RV Center. You can also get great information about that lifetime warranty on things like travel trailers, as low as $145 a month. Fifth wheels, $45,000 and more in savings. The warranty is on anything new and previously owned that qualifies from RV Warranty Forever. See all of that at johnstonrvcenter.com.
All right. By the way, before we get to our upset alert, I don't necessarily trust the reporting.
Oh, boy.
But
roll them under the bus before you say anything.
I'm going to go ahead and trust the Houston Chronicle. They're calling Texas A&M the most expensive college football ticket ever.
I don't believe that.
Average ticket price, $1,079. I think that's what they're going by, the average ticket price. Now,
I believe this.
Do you? You can get skewed by, I would go by what is the most expensive get-in to be the most expensive. Right now, that's
rather
up
than the
to
most expensive premium. Yeah.
That's up to $740.
That's up from last night. You remember we looked last night and you could get in for $640.
Yeah, so it's $740 now, according to Houston Chronicle, and they wrote this story last night, so it's gone up since we talked about it on the air. But the average is $1,079. I would go by the most expensive get-in, and $740 is probably going to get in that neighborhood.
What was we were there, not paying for tickets, thank God. But what was that ticket for Bama, Georgia? Mercedes-Benz Stadium 2017 National Championship.
I think two things took it down. It was crazy, but two things. The weather was awful. It was like a freezing rain.
It was terrible outside.
And Trump showed up.
He did, and a lot of people steered away because they were afraid that was going to be a fiasco.
They kept me at the hotel, honestly. I was going outside of that.
Boy, that had to be an expensive ticket, though.
Okay, before Brownie tells us about McCurry and we hit the button to do our upset alert, our last one of the year, as LT and Forster try to claim a championship, I want to remind you, Way to Wellness can help you guys so much with your health. It's not just about weight loss, so that can be very healthy as well, but blood pressure and cholesterol numbers as well. A personalized plan that works for you. That's what Way to Wellness is all about, and that's why the website is aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. Those injection therapies to help you with the weight loss, they've got that medical weight loss with supervision of a board-certified medical team. That's what you have with Leslie and her team at Way to Wellness. They've got meal replacements and so many different ways that you can lose weight and control all your vital signs. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free. Planforme.com. Brownie will tell us about McCurry. We'll look at the standings after Tyler hits the big button right here.
The College Football Spotlight.
Sound the alarm. College football's upset alert.
All of our spotlights, including the upset alert, presented by McCurry Van and Car Rental, the local rental company you can depend on. Trucks, SUVs, passenger vans, easy to rent, in and out fast. Locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, 2nd Avenue Northwest in Coleman, Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa. Reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com.
All right, so remind everybody one more time, last time, of the rules when it comes to this. You got to be plus 4.5 as the minimum spread. You get 5 points for the cover, which LT has been the best at this year. He's got the best record. 5 points plus your spread for the outright win, which is why I have a lead, but also it is why it is still possible for the other two in the standings to come up and capture the championship. It's our last one. I've got 82 and a 7-6 record. Forster's at 70.5. LT's got 64.5. So it comes down to LT and Forster. A little Price is Right. You've got to factor in and no, not Price Right. Jeopardy. Final Jeopardy. You got to figure out what you got to bet to try to win. I have pledged myself. I'm playing it straight up. I tried Army last week and I'm going with the team this week. I'd be doing these two teams if I was behind. Forrester has been animating it for us. So one last swing at the fence. Not really that crazy for you, Forrester. You just need, help me with my math, a 7.5 point outright winner for the tie.
Yeah, if I was going for a tie.
Yeah, you only play for a tie when you're the underdog on the road, right? Scott's not going to do that.
I don't have a sister to kiss, so go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not going for the layup here.
Okay, what do you got?
All right, so, this is a simple math equation, going for the win. I don't necessarily really believe in this pick, but we're going Thanksgiving night. Our boy, John Summerall.
Oh, don't pick against John Summerall.
I don't feel good about it.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't.
But we got Pouncer, the stupid name mascot for Memphis, taking on the angry wave here.
Pouncer's the name of the mascot?
That's a stupid name.
Yes, Pouncer.
I thought that was just the name of a strip club in
Yeah,
Memphis.
you never want to be pounced on, do you?
You do not. Certainly not by a tiger.
But Pouncer's going to knock the wave out. Little uppercut there. Bam. Memphis catching 14.
Boom.
Bam.
Your animation game is so good.
So good. Oh, Pouncer against the wave. I will tell John Summerall next time. You don't think they're going to lose outright, do you?
I mean, I need him to.
Yeah.
Jeez, Scott, what are you doing?
That'll
That's
be
our favorite guess.
That'll be 14.5, by the way. So
I was just putting the MyBookie line on the screen there, Joe.
Well, we got to make them halves. So I'll give you the extra half, 14.
I'll take it either way.
LT got to go a little bit more juicier to
A
get
little
the outright
bit.
win.
Oh, man, all I needed last
juicy.
week, James Franklin.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, and this has been LT all year. There's been one possession games that he could be walking away with this thing, but he's got
Wisconsin against Oregon. There's been some tight ones.
Yeah.
I'm like Forrester. I mean, I kind of got forced on this. I would have played Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M is going to beat Texas, but it's not going to give me enough juice. So I'm going to go in state, though. The Houston Cougars, this is terrible. Houston Cougars going to Provo. Again, I don't see a world where they beat BYU, but we can always hope.
We're going to go 13.5 with that one.
Yep.
Give you the extra half.
Always
go 13.5. There's no Brown Bandit anymore, so should I say mine for last?
It's up to you, Jim.
We used to have to go Brown Bandit for the costume change and the lighting.
Yeah, he's feared dead.
So
right
you
now.
go ahead. I'm looking forward to week 0 next year.
Yeah, see if he's alive. Actually,
see if he comes back. Yeah.
So here's the strategy I played here, guys. I can't win, right, Jim? I am mathematically eliminated based on our point spreads.
There's nothing.
Yeah,
I mean,
nothing can happen, yeah.
Columbia doesn't have a line playing against Oregon this weekend.
That would be nice. So what I decided to do is go for a Hail Mary. Every team likes a good Hail Mary, right? And I decided that since Jim is in the lead and has a shot at winning, there's a chance that he wins. And if Jim wins, we will start next year's upset alert with the standings from this year. So I'll at least want to make it look good. So if I hit this, I can't win, but it doesn't look like I was as bad as I was. I went with the biggest number on the board, Purdue plus 29.5. Purdue plus 29.5, guys.
You think he's going to pull back standings from this year?
Purdue, if he wins, he will.
No.
Oh, no. Purdue. Let's see how we finished last year, guys.
No.
I won.
We'll just have the banner raising. Yeah. That's all we'll have.
Purdue plus 29.5, I think, is only good enough to get me into third place. If you look at the standings, I think the best I can do is third place.
So that would be 34.5
with an outright win by Purdue over Indiana.
So you're trying to get on the medal stand.
I'm trying to get on the medal stand.
Very Princeton looking.
Well, we don't have a gold.
I know.
The brown has to be gold.
I was going to say that may be your worst effort at a P, too.
Not great. You know, the Purdue P, while simple, is difficult to draw.
This damn interlocking UNH is really difficult.
Yeah. I learned that this morning. The Purdue P, while a simple logo, can be quite surprisingly difficult to draw. Jim?
I'm going to finish it up by
Dunaway got up before Dunkin' Donuts to do this one.
Taking one of my favorite logos.
That's a good one.
And I'm going to take the Cal Bears.
Can't see the number. What's the number? Why is it hidden?
It's in the gold. It's 13.5.
Yeah.
So I too am going to play a double-digit dog. And I just think
it's like you did that with a paintbrush.
Hey, that is a good bear. How long did that take?
Thank you.
Wow.
I didn't start it until Forrester got here. I wanted to make sure he didn't have Cal. I wanted to give him an opportunity.
Right.
I texted him. I was like, do you want Auburn? You can have Auburn. He's like, no. I said, you can have Syracuse. You want Syracuse? No. I was giving him all these options that I was thinking about on my short list. And then I said, well, I'm going to take Cal if you're not taking Cal. He says, I'm not taking Cal. And I said, I'm taking it basically so I can draw my favorite logo. I'm going Cal, and I'm taking the 13.5 to try to finish this win up. A cover probably does it for me.
Yeah.
So I'll take the cover.
So two of our favorite coaches to have on, Rhett Lashley and John Summerall, and you and Scott have picked against them.
Yep.
At least Lance and I went against guys that didn't. Well, Kirk Signetti hasn't come on the show yet. He may come on the show.
Yep.
He may.
Hey, just throwing this out there. If you cover and I get an outright win, I win.
Yep.
Oh, so you did not do this in Jeopardy style?
I did not. I promised I would play it exactly. I didn't try to limp through because I knew with the hell I would catch on this set if I just tried to nudge it across the line with a couple of 4.5ers.
You wouldn't have played it like that if your lead was like 1 or 2.
I think I would have, Lance.
I don't think you would have.
I think I would have because you got to dance with who brought you. Pat Dye once told me.
Yeah.
And
he probably said brung.
He did. Who brung you? And I used the same website all year long, looking at all the potential upsets, and I made my choices each week from that site, and so I did the same process. Or wrote down 4 or 5
for entertainment purposes only. Had you gone with a 4.5 just to edge it across the goal line?
I had none.
You didn't even look at them.
My 3 on the board.
Yeah.
And Forrester will tell you this was Auburn, Syracuse, and Cal. And I didn't take Auburn. Why, Forrester?
You were afraid that Auburn fans would think you were trying to landmine them.
Right.
By the way, I would have taken Auburn if it would have been a big enough number. It wasn't big enough for me.
Yep.
I would have done it if it was at Jordan Hare.
So I didn't take Syracuse.
It would be 11.5.
Because it is frustrating to be against Cam Ward every week because you feel really good at the fourth quarter that you're about to get an outright win.
Oh, yeah.
And then they score 30 points in the final 7 minutes every week.
That Wake game, they hit a field goal to make it a 6-point game going to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a 3-point game almost in the fourth quarter.
Oh, look, and Kyle McCord will eat that defensive live. It'll be a shootout.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it'll come down. I took a look at Syracuse, but, again, wasn't enough points.
Yeah. So I took Cal, part because I wanted to draw the bear again. I've gotten pretty good at it. I sit at home and sketch them occasionally.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. I've got a bear in a Buccaneer uniform at my house. I got a bear in a Rays uniform. I've drawn them. If I ever stay at Orlovsky's house, it'll be that bear drawing I give him.
Hey, a couple of things out of that. I can't believe the painting.
Yeah, on
it
the wall.
was all him.
Yeah.
And he's gone to therapy for that 9th fumble. You can tell.
Yeah, boy, he did not. That one stuck with him, did it?
You think his senior cheerleader girlfriend broke up with him?
Yeah, I'm not going to date a loser. The best part about the bear, and I don't think this comes across on camera because you'd have to be here in person.
The fur?
Yeah, the way, look, Lance, the way he had to do it to make the color work is so much.
Well, that's why I said it looks like he painted it.
I know. It's beautiful, Jim. I am enamored by that bear.
I was using long strokes.
Yeah. As one does. But that is a very good bear.
All right, so there you go. That's our upset alert brought to you by our friends at McCurry.
McCurryrentals.com, McCurryrentals.com.
And our friends at HydroLive LT getting you ready for a holiday weekend.
Yeah, hey, look, what about a stocking stuffer, a gift of hydration from our friends at HydroLive Therapy? Not only that, they've got the IV therapy, the B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, now weight loss therapy, all under one roof. Make sure you stop by one of the 2 locations, Homewood or Highway 119 or Greystone, also a Tuscaloosa location. Mention the next round. If you can't make it there, you can book online, hydrolifetherapy.com. Ask about memberships. Basically, recouped in that first visit, you get a free IV each and every month. Mention the next round, 20% off all the great services. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com.
I want to give you a website. We talk about Brad Bell a lot, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. Here is a website where you can see all his work, A+bathandkitchen.com. That is A+bathandkitchen.com. Now, I tell you all the time, he specializes in master bath kitchen and master bedroom closets, even though that's what he specializes in, and that's the website name. It's not all he does. He does it all right there at A+ Tile Home Remodeling, anything in your home. But the reason I point those out, and the reason his website is A+bathandkitchen.com, is he knows that's where you'll make your money back when you go to sell your house. And he knows it's where you spend a lot of time in your house. So you want to make sure those rooms are as functional as they can be, as updated as they can be, look the best they can. So see everything right there at A+bathandkitchen.com. That is a great starting point when you get ready to do any sort of renovation in your home. Or you can just call Brad or text Brad. This is his personal cell number, 205-422-1758. That's 205-422-1758. 1758 or go online, aplusbathandkitchen.com. Brad Bell, A Plus Tile Home Remodeling, 205-422-1758 or aplusbathandkitchen.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, you. It's the holidays. Give cheer a lift. And at New Balance Birmingham, we got the gift. That holiday vibe? Find it inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right
Looking for a great
price.
place for that
Academy.
board meeting?
Have
Leave the
fun out there.
office and go to the Golfus. What about corporate events like board meetings, sales meetings, customer appreciation events? How about the Golfus? Watch parties for football and basketball, parties for birthdays or couple showers. The Golfus is a great place for those. The Golfus has Birmingham's best golf simulators and man caves in Vestavia on Highway 31, opening soon in Trussville and on Highway 280. Bring whatever you want to eat or drink, even bring your own clubs. Get out of the office. Go to the Golfus. Book your spot now at thegolfus.com.
Here at the Next Round, we love our guests, especially our 2024 football regulars. Auburn, Alabama fans, we've got your guys. On Mondays at 9:25, we'll be joined by Alabama offensive lineman Tyler Booker, and Tuesdays at 9:25, we chat with Auburn quarterback Payton Thorne. Join us and rep your team.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Back with you on the Next Round. We're going to talk a little bit more of the Iron Bowl. Payton Thorne with us earlier today. You can get that podcast wherever you get our podcasts, including Apple and Spotify. Like, subscribe there, and comment. That helps us out. Thumbs up if you're watching the show today on YouTube or any of our video platforms. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. We're the Next Round Live everywhere on social media as well. Show being brought to you in part by our friends at Rodney Scott's Barbecue, man. Great locations everywhere. And listen, he's about to tell you about the turkey. When you're going in there ordering the turkey for Thanksgiving or anytime, get the ribs. Mm-hmm. Best ribs in town.
Our man, again, I had the conversation with our man Andrew at Hemp Hill, and he's like, y'all need to let me know next time you're in Trussville. I did reach out to Chad. I didn't reach out to Andrew, but he's like, Rodney Scott's has got the best wings out there.
I've had their wings. They are very good.
I never had it. I didn't know they made the wings.
Oh, yeah.
I never make it past that in the menu.
Yeah. I think not the last time we were there, but the time before I had wings.
Yeah,
very good, yeah.
Yeah, we had them for lunch a couple of weeks ago. They are fantastic. But here's what we're focused on right now, Thanksgiving. If you want that good Southern Thanksgiving, they are taking the pre-orders for the spatchcock turkey, which is pit-cooked, smoked over the hot coals for hours, seasoned with the famous rib rub and Rod's original sauce, homemade Southern sides, desserts, all turnkey right there. You see the QR code. You can order through that, or you can go online, RodneyScottsBBQ.com. That's RodneyScottsBBQ.com. Support local this holiday season. Rodney Scott's Barbecue, locally owned and operated.
By the way, the Bama 16 sauce after Paul Ott. Paul Ott Carruth, former Alabama player. That's his home location for Rodney Scott. He's a Trustful guy.
I did not know he was living in Trustful. How about that? Okay, well, there you go. So
that's his home place there. The Bama 16 sauce, if you want to roll in there.
I love how his son-in-law sent us that story, and we have just completely run with it. Like, he could have been totally setting us up, but we did it. We ran with it.
I was talking to the Rodney Scott managers yesterday. Yeah, they were like, I can't believe I didn't tell you guys when I was at the up at the offices.
Yeah, that was it.
That's what Bama 16 sauce was.
100% chance they told us. We just forgot.
No, I would have remembered that. Hey, this hour is being brought to you also in part by our wonderful folks right there at Grace Tree Service that helps out LT so much with his dead pines. We're about to hear from Kane Womack, maybe some dead wood that he wants to clean up from last week's game plan. He's got some thoughts on that. Grace Tree Service can help you out as well.
Yeah, you'll see Grays rolling around town. Brown had them out yesterday. They maintain that fleet of specialized cranes and lifts to get the job done right, prevent damage to your home. Family owned, operated for 25 years right here in Birmingham. They are the experts in high-risk tree removals. Call today. Tell them the Next Round sent you. 205-281-6100. You can scan the QR code or visit graystree.com.
The tree that was coming down that they had to take care of, when I got home yesterday, it was cut up and sitting beside the road. And I texted John Mark, and I was like, hey, man, your guys did great work. Can you give me a recommendation who I can get out to clean it up? He said, oh, we take care of that, too. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
We just got to get our other truck out there to do it. I'm like, man, they run through the tape on
Don't
this.
even know they were there.
Yeah.
Kane Womack right here talking about what he sees as Alabama's biggest defensive struggle.
Quite honestly, the explosive plays that we gave up, probably one of those calls I would have liked to have had back. The other two really didn't hurt us, but I thought I could have called something better in the moment. But really, I think, that's the hard thing, is getting guys to play consistently, play in and play out, and do the same high-level job. So, you have that exact same run and we knock it out. And then all of a sudden, maybe they come back to it and we didn't do our job in that moment. So I think building consistency has been really the challenge for us in year one, and that's something that we're going to have to continue to strive to do this week against a good rushing attack.
I hate that I keep going back to that. I just didn't think the defense played well in this game, and you keep throwing numbers out at me that they did play well in this game.
Oh, they played well enough to win the game. I mean, when you look at the rushing numbers against that defense, they got pushed around.
They did. I would not say they played well. I would say if you ask me what cost Alabama that game, it is 100% offense.
Yeah, even if you would have told me.
I would not put a single percentage on defense, because, Lance, if they played the best defense they could possibly play, they were not holding Oklahoma to 3 points. Alabama only scored 3 points. So it was 100%.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. If I would have told you on Friday, hey, look, man, Oklahoma's going to score 24 points. Are you nervous?
I would have said no.
Yep.
No. But also in the way a game works, like I'm raised on. I was already old by this time, but I was raised on Leonard Fournette's coming to town. And he's the best running back in America, Heisman, and he can't get back to the line freaking scrimmage on the run.
Yeah,
you just couldn't run on Alabama. You had to beat him with some crazy quarterback who could throw it and run it and just make chaos happen. You just couldn't line up and run it on Alabama. And I think when you are able to run it and they're somewhere middle of the pack in run defense, it just makes the game shorter for your offense. And I don't know, it's just something about getting run on like they got run on the other night. It just seems to take the air out of the team. At least it did me when I'm watching the game.
Well, I would just say Oklahoma came in with a game plan of You run the football. We don't ask Jackson Arnold to do a whole lot through the air, and if we can control clock and move the chains, we got a shot at winning this game. I think that was what Brent Venables and his staff thought. If Alabama does what they normally do on offense, and that game's 14-0, you know what Oklahoma has to do? They have to abandon that. I mean, that is a losing strategy. So that's why I pin this entirely on the offense. Did Alabama's defense play great? No, but again, I'll go back to Lance's question. If I had told you, he said if I had told you Oklahoma had scored 24, what do you think would happen? And you said Alabama would win.
Win the game.
What if I told you Oklahoma's offense scored 10 points in that game? You would have told me what?
They get run off the field.
Run off the field. And that's all Alabama's defense gave up with those 10 points. 14 were from a 14-yard short field after a interception and a pick six.
I guess what I'm telling
10
you.
10 points will win every game Alabama plays. It should anyway.
Yeah.
It would not have Saturday night unless the ref got the call right.
I guess what I'm telling you, Brown, is I think I think they would have at least scored one more touchdown in the second half.
Oklahoma would have?
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you.
With the offense, the way they were running the football.
But there again, if you don't throw the picks, which Alabama shouldn't have thrown, even that's just 17 points.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama should beat Oklahoma 100 times out of 100 times if Oklahoma only scores 17 points. This Alabama team, I'm not saying like historically any Alabama team. I'm saying the offense Alabama has should beat every opponent they play if that opponent only scores 17 points.
I would agree.
Okay, two more things really
Should
quick.
require overtime.
Two more things really quickly before we get to our four downs, brought to you by our friends at Champy's. Cut 6 and 7 back-to-back, Tyler, here from Nick Sheridan on the offensive side of the ball. But Champy's Chicken has you ready to go. Lunch and dinner 365 days a year, man. Go by there and enjoy Sterling's great smile, his customer service. This guy cares about putting an A-plus product out on the table every day. Brine chicken overnight, cooked to order, never some heating lamp back at Champy's. They cook it to order, fried chicken the way your grandmama would have made it right there if she was working at Sterling's place there at Champy's Chicken. Highway 119 in Alabaster, all the great sides, and the Mississippi Delta recipe tamale. It is a destination lunch location. Make sure you get by there and see Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's. Nick Sheridan on what he told Jalen Milroe about running the football.
Yeah, what are some of the coaching points when you looked at the film in terms of Jalen running the ball and what you guys are doing from a blocking standpoint in those moments?
I think there was a little bit, at times, a little bit too much lateral running that occurred, and so when you watch the tape, just encouraging him to be a little bit more north-south in some of those moments, just to have a little bit more production. It's a fine line there. Obviously, he's trying, he's making instinctual plays and trying to create, plays. He's trying to create explosive plays. But I think there were times in the game where he could have been a little bit more north-south and a little bit more decisive that way when he ran the ball.
I would say, though, to Jalen Milroe's defense, like that was an obvious issue. He couldn't get the corner. But to his defense, when have you seen him this year bounce it outside and not be able to get the corner? Saturday night's the only time I can think of that consistently happened. Georgia, he was able to get the corner anytime he wanted it. LSU,
Tennessee, he didn't really want the corner.
Yeah, Tennessee might have been the other one. Yeah,
he was a reluctant runner in that game.
Yeah.
I would just tell you that the most frustrating one was a play where the first down marker was right in front of you and you bounced it right instead of lowering your head.
Yeah, dive forward or lower your head,
moving forward for the first down. Nick Sheridan, though, was the offense limited? Like, I went back and looked, man. Again, 8 people in the box on design run plays. So did Jalen Milroe have all the options in this game? Here's Nick Sheridan.
How much was the offense limited on Saturday by what the offensive line was able to control or not control along the line of scrimmage?
Oh, I don't think that we were limited based on that. I thought we didn't execute well enough, and that was all of us. And obviously it was disappointing, but we all played a part in that, coaches, players, and it was not, one position or the other. We all didn't execute well enough, consistently enough, down in and down out to be able to stack plays to put our team in a position to win. So I wouldn't. It didn't have anything to do with one position or the other. We all played a part in that.
Okay, one more thought after LT tells us about our friends at Odie's. Tell us about Odie's, man.
Tomorrow night, Odie's Team Trivia. We do it every Wednesday night. The original location at Crestline. They'll have live music right after that. But stop into either location all week long. Enjoy some incredible food. Great day for chili and a grilled cheese. You can get it at Odie's Tavern from our man Rodney Davis. Make sure you stop in. The original location in Crestline. Also, newest location in Edgewood. Birmingham Institution. Get in, see Will Haver and that great staff. Odie's Tavern.
Just a few days, basically, removed from that coaching staff coming down out of the press box with time left on the clock in Baton Rouge.
Quite the change.
The biggest celebration I've seen from an offensive coaching staff in a long time. To be on national TV prime time and have Herb Street and Fowler commenting on the empty coaching box.
And ABC showing the shot.
And the week before it was back-to-back weeks of shutting out Missouri. I know it was a backup quarterback, and how galvanized that team was on the sidelines, to going to how well the offense played with that coaching box being emptied out with a couple of minutes to go. This is one of the reasons that I think we believed Alabama at that particular time might have been the best team in college football. Didn't last long.
Yeah, it did not last long. And I want to talk about something in the mybookie.ag chat room, because when Alabama struggles like this, people start to criticize Milroe. I can't read defenses, doesn't go through his progressions. And Jay Flauschby, or whatever it is, in the chat room is like, oh, it's so weird that he was able to do that against Georgia and Wisconsin. Red defense is fine against them. Kirby Smart, pretty good defensive mind, you would say?
Yeah. Yes.
Glenn Schumann, defensive coordinator. Will Muschamp, analyst on that, say you think they probably try to confuse the opponent? Luke Fickell, say what you want about what he's done as a head coach. Where's his background? Defensive coordinator.
Defense, yeah.
So, explain to me, Jalen Milroe was really good against both Georgia and Wisconsin. So you can't tell me Jalen Milroe can't read defenses. I don't. Maybe this is just oversimplification. You can't succeed against Georgia if you can't read a defense as a quarterback. Do you think that's an oversimplification?
No, I do not.
You would have to, at that point, assume that every play that Sheridan called, he just went up and ran that play.
And it was, and Jim, for most of the game, it was the absolutely perfect play against the defense that Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann called.
Yep.
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
That is entirely unbelievable.
Yeah, by the way, Brent Venables is one of the best defensive minds ever.
Yeah, and it showed.
And it showed.
Yeah.
It showed. All right, Slice brings us 4 downs every day. Great place to go have lunch as well. Tell us about Slice.
We've got Slice on their way up. We'll be here in mere minutes. Can't wait for that. But you yourself can drop by one of the 5 locations for lunch or dinner. Local pizza, local ingredients, created by the late Jeff Bajaya. His brothers Jason and Chris continue to celebrate that legacy. Get in for lunch or dinner at one of those 5 locations. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
We just heard from Nick Sheridan, Kane Womack. If I ask you guys next year on this Alabama staff, 1, none, or both back?
So Forrester was telling me, I did not get to see Unlocked yesterday with Brock Heward, but Forrester was telling me that during the show, Brock told you that Ryan Grubb hasn't exactly torn it up at Seattle and might be looking to get back in the college game if Alabama wanted to make a change.
Yeah, he called and clarified it a little bit.
Okay,
He
right.
said cleaning that up. He's just saying that DeBoer and Ryan Grubb, much like DeBoer and Sheridan, have a great relationship, but I don't know if Seahawk fans are super excited about Ryan Grubb in this offense. They won it with defense this past week, holding Arizona to 6 points in 16, or 7 of the 16 were a pick 6 from Kobe Bryant in that game. So, yeah, the offense hasn't played well at all. So you just wonder if Grubb's like, you know what, I'm out of here. Do you think we would see some shuffling around where he brings him back?
Maybe co-offensive coordinator type deal, but Grubb's the one calling the plays.
Yeah, I would almost like Sheridan, we're going to rearrange you. You're still young. You're still learning this.
Same money.
If Grubb was to come back, without taking a pay cut.
You can make Ryan Grubb assistant head coach if you wanted to do that. Play caller, quarterback coach, however you want to do it.
You can figure it out. You can figure that out,
that would be interesting. I think it goes back to your kind of player that fits your offense. But I'm going to say both Sheridan and Womack are on the coaching staff next year.
I was going
to say, I think both are. There could be some shuffling.
Second down.
Okay, if these play out, Tennessee loses this weekend to Vanderbilt. Notre Dame loses to USC. South Carolina beats Clemson. better chance of getting in this college football playoff? Who do you think would be the highest of these four? 9-3 Tennessee, 9-3 South Carolina, 9-3 Bama, 10-2 Notre Dame.
Okay, 9-3 Tennessee,
9-3 Bama, 9-3 South Carolina, 10-2 Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is in. So is there another spot available? I think there is, right? So
well, just put them in order where you think the committee would do it.
I will go Notre Dame. You're also leaving out 9-3 Ole Miss.
Yeah, did you mean to leave them out?
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
Okay, so I think Ole Miss would have a lot to say because the Florida road loss, Kentucky home loss, beat Georgia. It would be very tough. I would go Notre Dame 1. They're in regardless of this weekend. I actually would go South Carolina 2nd, and I'm going to say because of recency bias. I think in the room you can use eye test. Game control is the name. I think you'll hear not tonight. Game control. How South Carolina had that bad call against LSU, so technically they could be a 2-loss team. Ball in hand against Alabama twice to win the game there.
They had the blowout against Ole Miss. That's what they would have to overcome.
Other than the blowout against Ole Miss, South Carolina could be a very good 1-loss team. Would have beaten Clemson recently. I think South Carolina would be the most attractive SEC team at that point.
I think it would be Notre Dame, then Bama, then South Carolina, then Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I know Tennessee beat Alabama head-to-head, but I still think the Bama brand would weigh more.
Yeah.
And I think Alabama would get in.
I got a point on that before the rankings after we finish with Florida.
So if they lose to USC, Notre Dame's best win is A&M or Louisville.
A&M.
A&M's better than Louisville.
Yeah. Louisville, yeah.
That's a hard case to make.
I mean, the service academies are going to show up well because of their record
academies. I think I would probably go. I think they would say 9-3 and 10-2. Just, I mean, we're splitting hairs here, so we're going to go with the 10-2 team. And Notre Dame is a brand. I think I'd go in this order: Notre Dame, Alabama, South Carolina. Now, who do I think are the best teams right now of that group? South Carolina's better. If Alabama and Notre Dame played, I mean, if it's in South Bend, I have zero confidence in Alabama on the road right now. If it's in Tuscaloosa, I think Alabama wins going away. So I don't know how to score that one.
Yeah, I would say, Lamb I Believer says Alabama's ranked 5th in game control. South Carolina's ranked 8th. I would say that if I look at losses, is what I'm looking at here now. That Vanderbilt game, Landmine Believer, it didn't feel like Alabama controlled that game at all.
When you lose it's hard to control it.
I know, but did they? It's not like they let one get away, right?
They trailed the whole game.
Yeah, and then felt like they trailed the other night after the 3-0 lead. Trailed the whole game, obviously. Those are some bad game control games. Obviously, the numbers work out better for the rest of the season. I think South Carolina would be ahead of Alabama, but I understand your point.
Third down.
Tina Turner would have been 85 years old today. Ultimately, better career, Tina Turner or Tina Fey?
I would go Tina Turner.
Yeah, I love Tina Fey. Really good creative writer.
I remember growing up in the 80s, Tina Turner felt iconic.
Yeah, but
in the 80s.
She was.
She was. I mean, but she did it 3-4 decades.
Yeah.
So I'd say Tina Turner.
Yeah, I would say Tina Turner, too.
Yeah, but I like Tina Fey's work. But
tough to find a lot of Tinas.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go Trey Turner or somebody Turner.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do that. I was going to do Ted Turner, but that seemed too easy.
Yeah, Ted Turner, better career than Tina Fey.
No, then I was saying
than
Tina Turner.
Tina Turner. Yeah, Ted Turner, better career. I mean, that guy's, he's on a Major League Baseball team, a news network, entertainment, made a bunch of money.
Actually won the, what's it called?
The America's Cup.
The America's
That's
Cup.
right. I forgot that
for the
part.
Americas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fourth down.
Charles Schultz would have been 102 years old today, the creator of, obviously, the Peanuts.
Yeah, a little fact here. Do you know that's not shown over the air for the first time ever since its creation in the 1960s, Charlie Brown's Christmas. It is owned by Apple.
Yep.
There's 2 days streaming for free on December the 15th and 16th, or the 16th and 17th, that you can go to Apple streaming and watch that for those 2 days for your kids. Other than that, you got to be an Apple subscriber. They own all of the Peanuts, Charlie Brown's Christmas, Halloween, and Thanksgiving.
They own your phone conversations now.
They do. You can record those. The Thanksgiving one is super depressing. Like when they show when they're all characters on the Mayflower.
Well,
that one ain't great.
And their Thanksgiving meal. I mean, we know their parents were never around. But Thanksgiving meals, jelly beans, popcorn,
and toast.
Yeah,
yeah. Charles Schultz or who? I'm sorry.
So here we go. In this order, or you guys rank them for us: Schultz, Charles Barkley, Charles Dickens.
I'm going to go Barkley, Schultz, Dickens in that order.
What did Dickens do other than A Christmas Carol, Tyler, or Melton?
Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist?
Oliver Twist, A Tale of Two Cities.
Was that pretty insulting to Scott that I only said Tyler and Melton, that I assume Scott had no idea what Charles Dickens did?
I don't know. Scott, did it insult you?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Okay, sorry, Scott.
So, but real quick, I mean, in 100 years, more Peanuts cartoons or Christmas Carol? Christmas Carol is a universal tale that will never go anywhere.
And it gets remade and remade and remade and remade and remade. Somebody will do it again.
Yeah, I think I would almost go Dickens, Schultz, Barkley.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sticking with Barkley, Schultz and Dickens.
Yeah.
Just
It's
the
a tough
opposite.
one. I think I go Dickens, Barkley, Schultz. Maybe. I don't know. It's a tough one. That's a tough question.
And that's 4 Downs, brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, stop in one of those 5 locations today. Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, newest location in Edgewood. We've got Slice on the way. You can get on the way to lunch or dinner tonight at one of those 5 locations. Local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
Okay, the point I wanted to make, just in case tonight, Alabama is somewhere between 11 and 13 in the rankings. Just in case.
Okay.
It will not be the first time since we've gone BCS Plus that a 3-loss team has been that high. In fact, it has happened several times before. You've had 2018 Texas, 2003 Florida, and 2002 Penn State, when the 3-loss team was ranked number 11 in the country at this point in the season. Number 11 in the country at this point in the season. 18 Texas, not an SEC team then. 2003 Florida, SEC team. 2002 Penn State, Big Ten team. So 3 times at number 11 that a 3-loss team has been ranked this high, this point in the season with 1 week left to go.
I am told that a lot of people around the Ole Miss program think they'll be the highest 3-loss team based on the conversations they've had, the metrics they're looking at. They know that Kentucky loss is a bad loss. There's no way around it. But they've got a really good win and a blowout win over Georgia. And their other loss is an overtime loss at LSU and a last-second loss at Florida. So they feel like they're in good shape.
The better resume is Alabama. It's hard to get that one out of your mouth this last game in Norman.
Yep.
They've got more wins against higher quality opponents than anybody in the rankings right now. But they've got those 3 losses, but their losses are Oklahoma, who is now bowl eligible, Vandy, who's bowl eligible, and then
Tennessee will be in the playoffs.
Tennessee, who's a playoff team. And for whatever reason, I don't necessarily consider bowl eligible teams as a quality win, but this committee considers bowl eligible teams a quality win.
Yeah, I think the Oklahoma loss is, what is that equivalent to? The Kentucky loss?
Yeah, it is. Now one was a little more one-sided than the other, but they're still bad losses.
Well, I don't know.
The Kentucky loss was at home.
Yeah, who's
though.
a better team right now, Oklahoma or Florida? I think Florida.
Oh, Florida's better than Oklahoma, but Oklahoma's better than Kentucky.
Yeah. Kentucky, of all the losses, Kentucky's the worst loss between Alabama and Ole Miss. That's not debatable.
Yeah.
It was in Oxford, and Kentucky has been bad this year. They just benched Brock Vandegrift.
Yeah, look, in the Alabama, the win over LSU lost a lot of steam, but let's not forget Ole Miss lost to LSU straight up.
Yeah. No, he's putting the Ole Miss LSU as a quality loss. It's a win for Alabama.
It is a win for Alabama. Yeah. But Ole Miss also beat Oklahoma, which is a loss for Alabama. So if you want to start playing that game, the common opponents game.
Yep. At home for Ole Miss and
That's
at
right.
Oklahoma game.
They still won the game.
South Carolina was a win for Alabama.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Ole Miss beat South Carolina's brakes off.
Yep. That's probably at this point, looking like one of their better wins.
Yeah, other than Georgia, it is one of their better wins. Yep. So we put a lot of stock in what you just saw. I don't know how the committee, because we're saying that about Alabama, it's hard to get that taste out of your mouth, what you just saw. I don't know how the committee values what they just saw. In other words, a bad loss, does it matter if it was week 2 or week 11 for this committee? I don't know the answer to that. I know what human nature tells you.
Yep.
Human nature tells you it matters the thing you just most recently saw. because it's probably a better indicator of how good a team is right now.
Tell us about our friends at Inverness, LT.
Inverness Country Club, great place to go if you're looking for the membership. Hey, it'd be a great Christmas present.
Oh, yeah.
For the wife or husband out there. Maybe he plays golf. Maybe you just want a great place you can go hang out this summer. Coming up with that social membership. It's got the resort-style pool complex, full-service cabana and bar, live music on Friday night, Sunday brunch, of course, the golf course, beautiful course. They've expanded the driving range. Childcare is also a big plus. Dinner with friends, knowing your kid is safe on site, massive plus. Take a tour of this unbelievable club today. Call Aaron, tell her the next round sent you, 205-991-8608, 205-991-8608, or online, iccalabama.com.
Here's how I would rank the top 12 with no consideration for automatic bids or anything like that. And then I want to hear from you guys. I go Ohio State 1. This is just who I think are the better football teams.
Okay, so
we're going 1 through 12, just what we think is the best teams out there.
Eye test for me.
Okay. Eye test for you, all right.
And if we lined them up, these are the best teams.
All right.
Forget what's happening.
Gotcha, okay.
Ohio State 1, Georgia 2, Oregon 3, Tennessee 4, Notre Dame 5, Texas 6, Indiana 7, Miami 8, Penn State 9, South Carolina 10, Alabama 11, Tulane 12.
Here's what I've got. And I wish we could line these up. I guess we've done so many graphics today. But I've got Ohio State 1.
I agree.
I've got Georgia 2.
I agree.
I've got Oregon 3.
I agree.
I've got Texas 4.
You don't agree.
I've got Notre Dame 5.
I'm same there.
I've got Indiana 6.
Okay.
I have got Tennessee 7.
Okay.
South Carolina 8.
So we're very close. Yep.
Alabama 9. Penn State 10.
Yep.
SMU 11. Tulane 12.
Yeah. Did you have Miami in yours?
I did not.
I would not have it either.
Yeah.
I think Miami's a fraud.
Yeah, I think Miami might have a. Well, if they lose this weekend, are they still?
No, they're out. Clemson's in at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Regardless of Clemson's outcome with South
Yeah, they don't
Carolina.
get to play in the conference championship game. Yeah. I would go. I think I would go now. I think I'd go Ohio State 1. I really want to go Georgia. Like, I truly believe Georgia's going to end up winning this whole thing. But my last meaningful impression of Georgia, well, one of them is that game at Ole Miss. That is hard to forget that
I
one.
do feel confident in saying the best defense in all of football is Ohio State.
Yeah.
And that's hard to say, that a Big Ten. Michigan was the best defense in college football last year.
I would say this, and I don't want to bring it up to Clack because it only leads to I'm an SEC homer, and he's the guy that does the broadcast for the Big Ten. But you look at those numbers, and you do have to say, okay, no, their defense is really good, I think, but they have played a lot of really bad Big Ten offenses.
Well, the one good Big Ten offense they faced was Oregon. And
32-31.
And any team is going to have an outlier on their schedule. Like, who do you think's the best defense in the SEC?
Good luck.
Tennessee, Georgia.
I mean, Texas really hasn't been challenged.
Playing at their highest level, I think it's Georgia.
Playing at their highest level, I think it's Ole Miss. Georgia is probably third. Tennessee is probably second for me.
Yeah. So, but any of those teams, you can go look at their season, and they've had a game where you're like, no, that was not a good game by their defense.
Nope.
So, I mean, I hate to hold that because that is the number one team in the nation right now we're talking about. And Ohio State, I think, gave up 32 points in that game. Is that right? 32-31 was the final?
Yep, as I said, it was 32-31, just a nail-biter game. And I don't think that's really bad on their part because I thought Dylan Gabriel played really good in that game.
Yeah.
I think our second meeting between these two will fly under the number. It'll be inflated. It'll be like 58.5.
And you think it'll be a
I
nail-biter?
think it'll be like a 24-14 Ohio State win.
Classic football.
Yeah.
Ole Miss in your top 12?
No.
We left them out.
Yeah, I think I would too. I'd leave out Miami and Ole Miss. It's hard. Again, recency hurts. It's hard watching the way that team played against Florida and say they're one of the best 12 teams. But then if Tulane and Ole Miss were to meet on a neutral site, do I really think Tulane would beat Ole Miss? I don't know if they would.
Man, if we had a 4-team playoff this year, I mean, just imagine this. Like
it would take away all the argument, actually, LT.
I don't know because if Ohio State beats Oregon,
both of them would still be in.
Okay, then you've got
SEC
let's just say
champion.
Georgia, Texas.
It'd be SEC champion. at that point, and then you'd be fighting for that 4th spot.
Well, I mean, if Notre Dame wins out, it should be them, right?
That's right. And that's what the playoffs would be. And then we'd be bitching and moaning about 5, 6, and 7. So really we're in a discussion about a really questionable soft schedule, 1-loss, 2-loss team versus tougher schedule 3-loss teams.
But here's the difference in the 4 and the 12. The team that I actually think is going to end up winning this was 10th in last week's ranking.
Well, I was going to ask you guys, would you take one of the top 4 seeds right now or the field?
Top 4 seeds?
Yeah, like you get all 4 of those, or you take the other 8.
Well, I got to see who those seeds are, though. Like, I mean, if Georgia beats Texas, 100%, I'd take the top 4 seeds. Or Texas A&M, whoever Georgia ends up playing there.
Yeah. So you're all in on Georgia now.
I think they'll end up winning the whole thing. But there again, if they go over to Atlanta and A&M or Texas beats them, I'll probably say, well, that was a bad pick by me.
Would you be shocked if they lose this weekend?
Yes. Stunned. And your hesitation tells me you might not be.
I mean, nothing is really shocking anymore this year.
That'd be pretty shocking, too.
Our friends at Hemp Hill brings you part of the show. We'll get the trash coming up on the other side. Tell us about Hemp Hill.
Trusty name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. Any of these arise in your home or business, call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090 for more information. Hard to stop a train. Call them up today. Tell them the Next Round sent you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trussville. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239 Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, you. It's the holidays. Give cheer a lift. And at New Balance Birmingham, we got the gift. That holiday vibe? Find it inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
This hour of the Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Looking for a great place for that boring meeting? Leave the office and go to the golffice. What about corporate events like board meetings, sales meetings, customer appreciation events? How about the golffice? Watch parties for football and basketball, parties for birthdays or couple showers. The golffice is a great place for those. The golffice has Birmingham's best golf simulators and man caves in Vestavia on Highway 31, opening soon in Trussville and on Highway 280. Bring whatever you want to eat or drink, even bring your own clubs. Get out of the office. Go to the golffice. Book your spot
Twin
now
Peaks
at
is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we believe the best holiday fun happens out there. On the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. No matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price. Academy. Have fun out there.
Earlier in the show, we told you about Mack Brown being fired at North Carolina. A thought on that before we get to trash. LT, tell us about Dr. B.
Yeah, Dr. B, the absolute man if you start to thin out. Look, it happens to a lot of us. The older you get, whether you're thinning out, you're just losing it all together, you can get in, see Dr. Beckstein, that great staff. They can give you the right advice. He told me, hey, look, we're going to maintain this. We're going to grow some back. And since I started doing the non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch, hair has more than doubled in thickness. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
You guys have heard it before, and I don't know how much of it is fact, but I believe it, that in the 2012 to 2013 post-Kick 6 era, post-Notre Dame National Championship, there were several Texas boosters that felt like they had Jimmy Sexton and Nick Saban's ear and had a good chance of luring Nick Saban from Alabama to Texas, but one guy would not get out of the way, and that was Mack Brown. They'd asked him to sort of step aside and, continue to be part of the Texas program, but hey, we need you to move. Let's bring in Nick Saban. He used his relationship, according to stories, with the athletic director, I believe Chris Del Conte at the time, to sort of block the boosters and keep Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa. We're all thankful for that. And then Mack Brown stayed for a few more years, and they got on a cycle of going through coaches. Do you guys have any doubt now that Mack Brown a few weeks ago knew what was coming and went public here and said, I'm planning on being back next year? He said that a couple of times. He said it is as early as Monday this week, which would have been yesterday at his news conference. My plan is to be back next year. And today, earlier, he was not, stepping down. He was fired by North Carolina.
This is going into the fetal position in the bed on the lower floor of the Titanic, right?
The old couple.
Yeah. Because, I'm sure Bubba Cunningham, his athletic director, said, look, we can do this one or two ways.
And they love each other. Bubba and Mack Brown are friends. They've been friends a long, long time.
It's not surprising it's going to happen. I've got a feeling, and I could be completely wrong, but I've got a feeling North Carolina's already got their guy in mind.
100%. Yeah. A guy that they wanted to bring in that I guarantee you is a lot younger than Mack.
Yep.
Most people are. And a guy that Mack, much like with Nick Saban, felt like he's being pushed out of the way, not respected, and he knows the next guy that's going to come in is going to do better.
It's a fact of life. Like the I hate to call him elderly, he is 73.
Yeah.
But the older you get, the more people lose interest in you.
Yep.
And that's just the facts. I remember having a conversation with one of our good friends who's older than us about 15 years ago, and he's like, another guy that we know that's a little older than him said, man, just watch. He told me that, things get a little lonelier the older you get. And he said, this is like really true. And, for Mack Brown, I just think it's such a young man's game. But we're talking about Kenny Dillingham at 34. That is 40 years younger. And I just think North Carolina's got their eye on somebody. It's been stale. I think Mack Brown did a better job, than we thought he would do coming back to North Carolina. But it's kind of the same every year. It's 7-5, it's 6-6. On some years it's 8-4. And I just think North Carolina fans want more. SMU can do it in year one. Why the hell can't we do it?
So you play the would you game. A lot of people in the chat room say John Summerall. Would you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Now,
because again, we talked about with North Carolina. What was your now?
I was just going to say, would he take the job? I think he would. I would if I was Sumrall.
I would too, because that place has money.
Well, it's got money, and I think it's going to have a future regardless of what happens to the ACC. That's what we were talking about last week, is they're not going to be left out. Yeah. North Carolina will not be a left out in the cold team if the ACC falls apart.
Other than Notre Dame, North Carolina is the one big name that is left out there that when the Big Ten or the SEC makes that announcement someday, that will move needles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's
Notre Dame is 1, North Carolina is 2. After that, you're just pieces.
What is bigger news for North Carolina fans? How they play tonight against Auburn, or the fact that Mack Brown's out?
Right now, this time of year, that where are we going with our football program? I think still going to edge out against Auburn because it's November basketball.
Maybe bad point, but my point was actually going to be that this is a good place to coach because they do have the resources, and it is a basketball school. So as long as it's a fun brand and you're winning 8, 9, 10 games for a few years, you're going to be just fine. But I do think they've got the resources where there's other teams in the ACC that have had a lot of success. Why can't North Carolina have that same success?
You start looking around, and we'll get to trash in just a second. If it's not him, would Rhett Lashley leave SMU? They've got just now the new big contract with him. You don't think you'd leave SMU for North Carolina? It's the same league.
Same league where I'm about to play in the conference championship game at the place where I am. I mean, it would seem like a weird move.
Yeah. And you go down the list. I don't. Would Kenny Dillingham leave Arizona State to come to North Carolina? Doesn't seem to be a fit for me.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, look, I
don't know.
He's 2 games away from being in a college football playoff, and he's going to get a massive raise.
I'm just saying, personality-wise, the way he. It doesn't seem very North Carolina.
You can't do that in Carolina.
Yeah, but maybe that's what North Carolina needs.
Maybe it is. Okay, let's do trash. It's brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Tell us about Mortgage Right.
Yeah, our friends at Mortgage Right, they are.
My bad. Yeah. Spin the roulette and then tell us about Mortgage Right.
That didn't upset me. But the bitch-ass hoe that told me to calm down, what I'd like you to do is apologize instead of being a bitch.
You're calling me sorry, but you're calling me a bitch. So set an example.
I'm sorry. My kids can't hear me calling you a bitch.
Your window's open.
They can't hear me because they're listening to Kids Bop.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Bet she's divorced.
Kids Bop.
Hey, it is buying season always. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Veteran founder here in Birmingham offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. There is no cost or obligation to find out what you can qualify for. You get more information by going to their website, or if you're in Birmingham, call their Highway 280 office, 205-900-7200, mortgageright.com, NMLS 2239, equal housing lender. This timing is awful because we've got pizza that is here now from our friends at Slice. Blame this on Tyler. Several Pizza Hut outlets in China have introduced a new dish in their menu. It's called the Goblin Pizza.
Yo.
It looks like a frog.
It has made headlines because it includes a deep-fried frog as a topping.
Yikes. That's not a topping. That's an addition. I mean, those sound like one and the same, but
truthfully, the one on the right has a better...
Got little eggs and olives for the eyes
that's
here.
pretty bad.
Truthfully, the one on the right has a better muscle makeup, ass and thighs and legs than I do.
Less batter.
I need to hit the gym.
Looks like Mike Tyson.
A little bit, yeah. I've seen his barrier recently.
Now, the image features thick crust pizza, which is bad in itself to me. Red sauce base under a bed of parsley with a bullfrog on top. 2 halves of a hard-boiled egg with black olives appear as the eyes of the frog. When translated from Chinese, captioned in the viral images suggests that the pizza is available for a limited time with, quote, special bullfrog being used in it. Notably, the bullfrog is eaten in China, and it is very popular over there.
Next time I get called a frog ass, I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Can you imagine?
How often do you get called that?
Yeah, when is the last time that has happened?
Seems like I got called that as a kid when I didn't do something right by my dad.
Okay.
Get your frog ass out here.
I mean, can you imagine taking a bite of that with part of the leg or ass or whatever on it?
I can. I used to eat frog legs at Top of the River when I was a kid.
I had them one time.
Yeah, it's chicken.
It is, and I'd rather just have chicken. I'd rather go cheese.
I ate them at Top of the River, and I'm like, I'm really only eating chicken.
It's chicken with a little creek aftertaste.
Yeah, maybe.
A little creaky aftertaste.
Now, here's one thing that went viral. Some users were shocked. One commented, can't decide what it's worse, the frog or the grotesque eyeballs. I think I'd rather eat the eyeballs than the frog.
Those are eggs, right?
Yeah.
And
it's
I
just
like
eggs
olives.
and olives.
Yeah, I like olives.
This pizza was created in collaboration with the popular mobile game Dungeon and Fighter Origins and Pizza Hut China, as written in Chinese in the viral ad.
Yeah,
do you know that game?
I do not. I assume that's one that's just over there.
Okay. We have worldwide internet. You can get it anywhere.
State-sponsored monsters and
This
everything.
would have to be one of those, the movie Alive, Yellow Jackets. If I was on a stranded out in the woods for a couple of days, I probably could get up to eat this, but man, that'd be tough.
Yeah, I would. If I was stranded, I'd be throwing the frog away and just eating the pizza probably.
You need that protein though.
We'll see.
So we were just talking about A Christmas Carol, gravestone for Ebenezer Scrooge, left behind from the filming of the 1994 movie adaptation of A Christmas Carol, has unfortunately been smashed. The inscribed tomb used as a prop in the field has lain in the graveyard next to the St. Chad's Church in Shrewsbury since the movie based on the Charles Dickens classic was released 40 years ago. Town Council Clerk Helen Ball said she was notified on Sunday the gravestone had been damaged. Quote, "We're now left with a gravestone that's in multiple pieces. I think it's one of those things that's very dear to everybody's heart." She said the community had been united in its disgust regarding the vandalism, with many taking to Facebook to express their anger. Now, one went on to say, quote, "It happened in a graveyard. The disrespect that has been shown is evident. Gravestone is seen in the film when Scrooge is confronted by the ghost of Christmas yet to come, and he wipes away snow to reveal his own name. Much of the movie, directed by Clive Donner, was filmed in the Shropshire town. George C. Scott starred as Scrooge." Have you guys seen that adaptation? It's actually a pretty good one.
George C. Scott, I don't think I've seen.
That's the original one, right?
It is not the original, but it is. Yeah. Well, I think there's four now.
I have
Is it the one of record?
I like the one with Michael Caine.
Do you?
Yeah, that's the Muppet
Have you
Christmas
seen the?
Carol.
Yeah, the Muppets is actually a pretty good one.
Have you seen the new one with Guy Pearce a couple of years ago? FX.
I haven't seen that
It's
one.
dark. A lot of language.
I think my favorite adaptation is just Scrooged with Bill Murray.
It didn't hold as well as I thought it would.
I mean, it's my favorite when I watched it. I hadn't seen that in forever, but I mean, it's a little different spin, obviously. The Muppets one, I mean, as a kid, that was a little scary at times. I remember watching that as a
Michael
kid.
Caine plays that entire movie just straight as can be. Like he's not acting with other Muppets. He's in a regular movie of his.
Yeah. Good
I
actor.
think he
Michael
read
Caine.
the first page and the last page.
You know that about Michael Caine, right? That's what he said.
Oh yeah, he decides what roles to take. If he reads the first page, make sure he's on it.
That's
reads
right.
the last page, make sure he's on it to make sure he's not dead.
I am in.
Did you like Children of Men?
It was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think it was hyped up a little too much for
I
me.
thought it was really good, but he's got a interesting role in that. Now, according to police,
Is that where the kids live in a cornfield and they kill you when you come up to the house?
Children of Corn. Children of Men is basically everybody's dying off. You can't have kids anymore, and so the youngest kid in the world died. So just imagine that premise. So the last kid ever born finally died like in his 20s. They find out this one girl is pregnant. It's apocalyptic. Clive Owen's in it, and they've got to get her to safety where she can repopulate. It's actually a good movie.
A lot of pressure on her.
Yeah, it really is.
Well,
She
more
can never have
so
a
on Clive
headache.
Owen.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not for him, she's got issues. So the police department, quote, "We know that these drugs came in many shapes and sizes, but every now and then we come across something extraordinary. This was a garden gnome that weighed 2 kilograms. Now, the police found the gnome among a large bag of drugs seized in the area. Because of the little statue weighed nearly 2 kilograms, investigators decided to get it tested. And then they found that this little statue was made entirely of MDMA, which is Molly or X.
How big is this? Do you know? Did it say?
I mean, 2 kilograms. Translate for us there, Tyler.
2 kilograms. That
Couple
would be,
pounds. I mean, I always go 1 to
what,
1.
like 4
1 to 1
pounds,
gets you
5
close
pounds?
enough. 4 or 5 pounds of MDMA? That's a lot.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah.
That
Holy
is definitely
crap.
a lot.
That's why his eyes are bulging, bro.
It looks like the Clemson mascot.
And finally, Andrea Arnold knows a lot about what goes on in the village of McBride, a community of about 600 people in British Columbia's Robson Valley. As a reporter for the Rocky Mountain Goat newspaper, she keeps track of wildfires, local sports teams, and pretty much everything happening in this picturesque mountain town.
That's what I named my magazine that I dreamed up I was going to do of oversized women getting married was McBride, biggie sized.
Oh, wow.
You thought it was like going to be a big seller, you think?
Nothing
Literally big size.
quite prepared Arnold for what she saw while driving through town on Sunday afternoon. Quote, the vehicle in front of me had slowed right down, which is not abnormal because there are deer that cross the highway. But this one was wearing a high visibility jacket. Now, she managed to snap 2 photos. You see one right there, which show a deer fully wrapped in a jacket with strips of reflective material before the animal walked away. But she still couldn't quite process what she had seen.
Why? Why do you think this has happened here?
I don't know, but I will say that I would think that it would be difficult and kind of dangerous to try to put that jacket on the deer.
I would agree. I don't know that you can get the deer to stop close enough.
What's the name? Is the name of the restaurant Killin'?
I can't tell.
Oh, it's Western and Chinese cuisine.
Oh, my gosh. What a combo.
Looks like it's closed. I don't know if that concept made it long.
It does say open on the sign, though, Lance. I'm going to have to argue with you.
Yeah, it's not lit up.
I don't know how accurate the sign might be. Well, I don't know how we got this vest on a deer. That seems like drunk guys at the old hunt club, right?
Well, they were probably working at that deer crossing, and any construction zone workers got to have that on.
That's true. They told me the deer were going to cross right here.
And that is Trash Today, brought to you by.
Yeah, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're looking for your final home, your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200.
You know the most popular item at the Western and Chinese cuisine place, right?
Everybody buckle up. Here we go.
Chicken fried rice. Chicken
fried rice. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Do you think chicken fried
steak, chicken fried rice?
But if you were doing a spin on it, would chicken fried rice be good with queso on top?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, almost anything is. Yep, I'd take that.
Final thoughts here, brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop as we get ready for this upcoming Thanksgiving weekend. After we go by on Wednesday, tomorrow, to pick up our turkeys, LT, we'll pick up sides as well. Makes a good dressing. If you forgot something, you got to throw something in the oven real quick. If you're going over to a friend's house, all the great sides there too.
Got some dog treats. I've picked up bullet and chili where we can have steaks in peace and just break them off one of those dog sticks, let them gnaw at that. Jim can also cut up some of those bones out back.
Last week I got chicken salad and pimento cheese and some crackers and some spicy jelly.
I can't decide what's better, pimento cheese or chicken salad.
I didn't decide. I got both.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way to do it.
And snacked on crackers during the games all last week.
Love both.
I'll never do it again because Alabama lost. But
it's done forever.
Yeah. Luckily, they have a wide variety of choices for me there this year.
Well, you've been cutting back on a lot of food groups this year because you got 3 losses out there. Turkey's fresh, all natural, hormone-free from Joyce Farms, one of the best poultry producers in all of America. The turkeys, again, are fresh, but they can smoke or brine them. They also have the smoked hams, certified Angus prime beef tenderloin, rib roast, all of their side dishes prepared in-house. Don't forget desserts like pies, cakes, banana breads, great wine selection to pair with your turkey or beef tender roast. They're taking reservations now. Stop into one of those 2 locations. Original Caba Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Rare quality, well-done service, the New York Butcher Shop.
Okay, save me all this in 60 seconds real quick. Kyle Whittingham says Kyle Whittingham, Utah head coach, says he's going to evaluate his leadership of the program after the season. That sounds like coach speak for me, that he's stepping down when the season.
Yeah, keep in mind Morgan Scalley has been tabbed. He's
and I thought this was going to be his last year. I just hate how it went down because Whittingham has been so good, and in year 1 of the Big 12, it has been so bad. And a lot of that is, you saw it, he was down to his 5th-string quarterback last weekend.
Tomorrow we're at Academy Sports. We'll talk to Bruce Feldman, hopefully, about his story on Brian Kelly. Really interesting read at The Athletic on how disconnected he is at LSU. Brock Vandagriff is out as the starter quarterback for Kentucky going into their final game. Cutter Boley, who played well in relief against Texas, comes in as the starter. And Georgia Tech has hired J.J. Kosh from the Chicago Bears front office. He's going to Georgia Tech. Well, he'll be the guy in charge of revenue sharing between the program and the players moving to the future. So he basically is a salary cap guy from the Chicago Bears. That's very interesting. Basketball tonight, 2 huge games. Auburn off their 2nd top 5 win last night against North Carolina this evening. That's 10 o'clock on ESPN. Auburn's a 4.5-point favorite. What does Auburn do that's going to be hard for North Carolina to stop? Why can Auburn win this game? Why should Auburn win this game?
Well, I mean, Auburn, when they're hitting their perimeter shots, and I think Auburn also believing, down 16 to one of the best teams in college basketball, being able to come back. And I think not the most talented, but I think the ready-made, ready-to-take game-over player on the floor, Janai Broome. I mean, Carolina's got a lot of these McDonald's All-Americans. I think they've got 3 guys that are projected first-round guys this year.
But I think what you saw last night, too, though, is not only does Auburn have an extremely talented roster, they've got an experienced roster. It's going to be hard to break them mentally, right? I think a lot of teams would not have come back from 18 down.
That's right.
16 down at the half, but that's a team that has seen a lot and has played through a lot.
And Alabama and Houston tonight, 7 o'clock on TBS. Alabama lost on Purdue's home floor. They beat Illinois neutral site here, neutral site game in Vegas. This one's got a little side note. Auburn's already beaten this team, so you bring in the rivalry aspect. But for Alabama, worried about Alabama's business, what can they do to win this game tonight? What do you expect? Because we've seen really good and really bad of Mark Sears lately.
I expect really good Mark Sears tonight.
I mean, if he puts together back-to-back bad games, that'll be the first time in a long time, if not forever. I haven't seen it in a while. I expect Sears to play well.
Biggest test so far, in my opinion, of LeBaron Philon, of what he can do distributing the basketball against a really, really good Houston team with L.J. Cryer and Emmanuel Sharp on the edge. Alabama's won this meeting 2 of the last 3 years. They'll try to make it 3 in a row against the Houston Cougars. We'll have post-game reaction from both on our social media platforms later today at Next Round Live. We'll talk about the college football selection process, the next to last one, the last one that doesn't matter, but it sets the table for the final one. That's at 7 o'clock Central Time tonight. This hour has been brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, Sterling. Every day, not just on Thanksgiving week, but every day cooking up great food, which makes us thankful. Brined overnight, cooked to order, piping hot, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. ChampysChicken.com. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.